Test your headset. Test your headset. Do you want your thingy? Do you want that, or is that yours?
Test, test, test.
Got me?
Yep.
Alright, good. Welcome to Sugar Land, Texas. We're live at Constellation Field, home of your Sugar Land Skeeters, where tonight the Skeeters take on the Ducks. The Skeeters are 19-11, the Ducks are 15-14. The Skeeters begin the day 2 games back of the front-running Barnstormers, who split a doubleheader. So if the Skeeters win today, they will be just a game back, a half game back. They will take on the Ducks, who are 15-14. They are 3 games back of the Somerset Patriots. The Skeeters will send out Casey Coleman, no record and even 3 ERA, against Jake Fisher, the Southpaw 2-0 with a 3.48 ERA. In game number 3, the final game of a 3-game series against Long Island, and game 3 of a 6-game homestand. Hi, I'm Ira Liebman, joined by Ryan Posner here in the pregame show. Will Scott a little later on, and huge win yesterday. You don't see too many that good. The Skeeters went down 2-0, and really the story early on in the game, Ryan, was Bennett Perry struck out 14 Skeeters through 6 innings, came out of the game, seemed to all go wrong. They had a 2-0 lead. The Skeeters would get a run in the 6th. They would get 3 in the 7th. They looked like the comeback was complete. Game over. You go to your major league bullpen, and that's all she wrote. But the Skeeters looked like they had the 3rd out with Felipe Paulino coming in early in the 8th inning, and a fly ball hit to left field to Courtney Hawkins, who we'll hear from later. Looked like he was going to camp under for the 3rd out. 4-2 lead preserved, but he dropped it in a precarious route. 3 runs scored. The Skeeters went down 5-4. Then in the 9th, 2 outs. Nobody on. Derek Norris is hit for the 2nd straight time, which was a little suspicious to me. And then Courtney Hawkins redeemed himself in a big way with a 2-run walk-off homer. That is the kind of game that turns around a season and gives you momentum the rest of the way on the homestand.
Yeah, if the attitude around the dugout tells you anything, I certainly agree with you on that. I mean, just the attitude, I mean, they needed that. Anytime you can strike out 14 times in a game and still come away with a win, and not after being shut out, I think that's going to go a long way in your confidence.
Also, the Skeeters are barely a month into this season, actually just over a month. Today is game number 31. The Skeeters lost their 6th player to affiliated ball in Danny Reynolds.
Yeah, and man, I mean, couldn't think of a better guy for that to happen to. Been 15 innings, struck out 21 batters, did not allow a run in his time here. Couldn't really have done much better if you're Danny Reynolds. Sad to see him go, obviously, because he was one of the more reliable arms into the bullpen, but the Brewers got a good one.
Had not allowed an earned run all season and retired the last 10 batters he faced in a Skeeters uniform. Well, a guy who's used to closing them out, he's 4th on the all-time save list, and that is K-Rod. Francisco Rodriguez had a chance to sit down and speak to him, and we talked about the argument we were having. What is the Hall of Fame number these days? Well, we'll get that answer when we come back. The closer for the Ducks and 4th on the all-time save list, Francisco Rodriguez, when we get back here in just a moment. Welcome back to the Skeeters pregame show. Ira Liebman here with Ducks closer Francisco Rodriguez. Francisco, your first year in the big leagues as a rookie, you helped the Angels win their first ever World Series. You go 5-1 with a 1.93 ERA after pitching just 5 2/3 innings in the regular season. Were you surprised they put you on the postseason roster, and what was your reaction?
Definitely, I was totally shocked. Especially I was late September call up and then only had 5 innings under my belt in the big leagues, and then the manager gave me such a responsibility to be part of the playoff roster, open up with against the Yankee Stadium. I mean, it was something that 16 years later, still thinking about it, because everything came so fast, so quick, that took me a long time to realize how, how special run did I have in that postseason.
What was it like for you to win the World Series as a rookie, help the Angels to the first ever championship? Like you said, looking back 16 years later, did you kind of realize how big it was at the time? You just thought, hey, this is the ultimate goal for a player, and it wasn't, you were kind of in the moment. You weren't really appreciating it then as you do now.
I was in the moment. To be honest with you, I didn't think, or I didn't realize the impact I was getting maybe a year after. Or the the next year when we got a ceremony, we got the rings. I mean, it was like, whoa, it was real, and everything, it was quick, fast, and it was easy transition because everything, it was clicking pretty much. The Angels was playing terrific. I was throwing the ball well. My team, I mean, it was unbelievable ball club by them, and like I said, it would take me a long time to realize that I accomplished something special.
Speaking to former big leaguer Francisco Rodriguez, where did the nickname K-Rod come from?
From there, I think I had opportunity the first 9 batters that I faced in the big league, I strike them out, all of them. And the number 10 was intentional walk, and I strike out 2 more after that. And then one day coming in the game, I saw the guy with a big sign, and we saying K-Rod. At the beginning, it was because I was 20 years old by then. I see guys saying Kid, I see other guys Cisco Kid, so I wasn't sure where the K came from, and until I noticed it was for the strikeouts.
From 2005 to 2007, you have 3 straight 40 or more save seasons, but in 2008, you saved a Major League Baseball record 62. You broke Bobby Thigpen's record of 57, which was done 25 years earlier. No one had ever done it before or since, including Hall of Famers. Take us through that season.
It was everything, like I said, everything was clicking too. Everything, every week, I was maybe throwing 5, 6 games at a time. I get 3 saves in a row, and then all of a sudden I got a day off, and the next day another 3 more in a row. I mean, it wasn't a season that every game was so close, and even the games that we were winning by 7, 8 runs, for some reason the other team find a way to come back and put the game in the line that they had to bring me in.
Now you're currently 4th on the all-time save list at 437. Do you think if you get back to the big leagues and you get to 500, you think that makes you a Hall of Famer? Is it kind of the 3,000 hits these days of saves?
That's a good question. As a player, I don't think about that because definitely I see in things from different perspectives. But if that would be the case, I would do everything it takes to get back in health, and 100% health, and wait for opportunity for a big club, give me the shot, and obviously find a way to get to a 500 save.
We're speaking to Francisco Rodriguez. The 3 guys in front of you will be a Hall of Famer. Mariano Rivera, Trevor Hoffman just got into the Hall of Fame this year, and one should be a Hall of Famer, and Lee Smith. Where do you feel you stack up with those guys?
It's an honor. You asked me 16 years ago when I was coming into broken the big leagues that 16 years later you're going to ask me this question, whether how did I feel being the top 4 or top 5 MLB closer, and the whole time I'll be laughing because you never think about putting numbers. You live in a dream. You live in day by day. All I want is pursue a dream, be in the big leagues, and not think about records, not think about that. But looking back, I feel extremely satisfied. For my career has ended up today, I'll be extremely satisfied. But I feel like I still have plenty left to help anybody out there in the big leagues, and I don't feel the opposite. I'm going to continue to play.
Now, you played in all the World Baseball Classics for Team Venezuela. It's a tournament that's just unbelievable for those who haven't watched it. But when you play for your country in a tournament like that, what does that mean to you?
It means everything. You can put all kinds of uniform, and you're always going to play to win. But you put the Venezuelan, or you put the country you're from, there's a big weight in your shoulders. It's a huge responsibility. And as the day progresses in the baseball class, as game by game, the pressures increase, the atmosphere increase, and then it is a great feeling. But at the end of the day, even as a veteran guy, you still feel those butterflies when you wear your country name in front of your chest. And I'm not saying that I don't feel that with the Dogs or the Mets or any team that I played before, but playing for your home country is way different.
Where do you think it ranks in your career to be able to do something like that, really, for you and all the players in the tournament?
What do you mean? I'm sorry. Say again.
What do you think it means to you, as well as the rest of the other players, to be able to put that in their career where it ranks?
I mean everything. Like I say, you play for your national team. It's everything. I think hopefully, I'm pretty sure it's going to be my last one that I just played last year. And but I did enjoy in every single moment, even that I end up getting hurt. And I'm in the situation that I'm in now, but I don't regret it. I enjoy every moment. I have fun. My family have tremendous time over there, and it's something that I can be proud and tell the stories to my grandkids when I get older.
We're speaking to Francisco Rodriguez. In 2009, you moved into Manhasset in New York on the North Shore of Long Island. What's it been like to play for the Ducks?
It's been nice. It's been smooth. I thought it would be a lot difficult, but it's not. It's been a smooth transition, and I'm trying to get adapt a little bit more to the league. It's the first time I came here to Texas, Sugar Land, and this is a beautiful place also. So I've been impressed for the stadium that we're playing. They're in pretty good shape, and the league's increasing and getting stronger by daily basis.
Has playing in the Atlantic League make you appreciate the game a little bit more, seeing how hard guys work and the talent here and them trying to get back?
I mean, anywhere you go, you're gonna see guys working because they're professional. When they cross the line, it's a different thing. I mean, even if you're minor league, even if you're in the big league for many years, even if you're here, the professionalism is always there, and guys are always gonna try to enjoy every moment when they go out there, and they're gonna try and take advantage of every opportunity they can get.
In your prime, you threw as hard as 99 miles an hour. Do you think you've learned a lot from those days, become more of a pitcher now instead of just a hard thrower?
I think when you age, you start learning better yourself, and nowadays there are a lot of guys that they're power pitchers, but 4, 5, 6 years from now, they're not going to be power pitchers anymore. You have to learn how to pitch at the same time. I got the opportunity to learn from one of the best, Troy Percival, and he teach me how to pitch with velocity. That's why I've been in this game for 16 plus years, and my career was not end up after 7, 8 years after I lose my velocity. I think I've been blessed with that big opportunity that he offered me to learn how to pitch with velocity, and nowadays I think I'm taking advantage of that right now.
Fourth on the all-time save list in the big leagues, Ducks closer, Francisco Rodriguez. Francisco, really appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you guys.
Back here in a moment. Welcome back to Constellation Field. Ira Liebman, rejoined here by Will Scott. Time to take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting Long Island Ducks. Jordani Valdespin will be in the top spot. He'll be at second. Batting second is center fielder Emilio Bonifacio. The DH batting third is Travis Schneider, the cleanup hitter, and left fielder Lou Ford. Catching is Ramon Cabrera. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth is Taylor Ard. He'll be at first. Batting seventh and third, Cody Puckett. Daniel Fields in right bats eighth, and batting ninth, shortstop Dan Lyons. Valdespin comes in .350, 4 home runs and 18 RBIs for the left-handed hitting second baseman. Valdespin 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts yesterday. Skitters have held him hitless, Will, here in this series so far.
Yeah, he was really playing well coming in. You obviously see his numbers, .350 batting average, but hasn't been able to get anything going against Beeler 2 nights ago, and then, of course, last night.
So in steps Valdespin. Comes in 6th in the league in hitting. Excuse me, 7th in the league in hitting. And the first pitch here is a strike. Strike one, 0-1. And we're underway, game 3. The final game of a 3-game set. This series tied at 1 apiece. And game 3 of a 6-game homestand. Skeeters right-hander Casey Coleman squares to bunt. And they're going to bunt this one foul. Valdespin kind of jumping up and down as he goes down first. He's tried it a few times in this series, and the guy who's a very good bunter, he's been very unsuccessful.
Yeah, he's been trying to get a good bunt down the left field line, and all of them have rolled foul, and right now that cost him because it's 0-2 now on him.
Let's see if Coleman can get one more strike past him. Shadows across the mound, making their way towards second. Fastball misses a little bit inside, doesn't miss by much. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Coleman, in his only appearance with the Skeeters, went 3 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 3 walks, a strikeout. Coleman gets the sign here from Norris. Norris will set up again inside. And the 1-2, Swan a hit towards second. Nice play at second by Colin Wash. Just off the DL, he'll throw to first. And there's one away. Pretty play by the Skeeters second baseman.
Nice to have him back in the lineup. Jansanti in center because Walsh is back at second base. And first ball hit to him and looked pretty healthy right there as we take a look at the defense for the Skeeters. The hero from last night's game, Courtney Hawkins in left field. Anthony Jansanti with Colin Walsh back in the lineup in center. Kyle Kubica, Will Mann right field. Albert Cordero, Coco at third base. Shortstop, Alvaro Rondon. Second base, Colin Walsh. First base, Matt Chavez.
Norris behind the plate, catching Mr. Coleman. First pitch here is a strike, 0-1 the count. Emilio Bonifacio, 313, no home runs and 8 RBIs. They set up away, and this one is slashed foul. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes, so Coleman getting ahead of each of the first 2 hitters here.
Yeah, Bonifacio already down 0-2. He struck out in 8 straight games. 0 for 4 yesterday. So it could be 9 straight strikeouts if Coleman can get him right here. Bonifacio,
last 7 games, just 4 for 30, a 133 clip. This one is slash foul down the left side again. Count remains 0-2.
Bonifacio was involved in that blockbuster trade. Went to Toronto with Jose Reyes.
That's certainly a pretty good trade. See if Norris sets up inside again here. Coleman rocks, turns his back to the batter and fires, and this one is just off the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Little a la Louis Tiant type wind up there for Coleman. Coleman first appeared in the Atlantic League in 2017 with the Bees, went 2-2 with a 2.49 ERA. 23 games, 4 starts. Swan and Swan foul. No, they're going to call that fair just over the first base bag. Matt Chavez has it behind the bag. There's a 3 unassisted putout. 2 ground ball outs, 2 down, none out here for Travis Snyder.
Yeah, that ball was hit right at Chavez, and credit Chavez, he stuck his glove to his right side to keep that in play, and able to step on the bag for out number 2. 2 quick outs.
Well, Snyder, after hitting in 5 straight, where he went 7 for 21, a 333 mark, was just 3 for 14, a 214 mark in his last 4 games before going 2 for 5 last night. First pitch to the left-hand hitting DH is a strike at the knees. Nothing but strikes. Coleman pumping in here.
Snyder getting back on track. He just had 16 hits in his first 19 games. He has 12 in his last 10. He's batting .285 in his last 10 games.
The 0-1. This one a fastball strike on the inside corner and quickly 0-2. So all 3 of the first hitters Coleman has faced, he has gotten them to an 0-2 count. Recipe for a successful night.
Be interesting to see how far he goes tonight. If he's able to pitch well, this is just his first start of the season.
The 0-2. Swan and a slow chopper foul. That one will be behind home plate. And give credit to Corey Dommel, Skeeters pitching coach, and Skeeters skipper Pete Cavilla. And they stretched Coleman out in his first appearance, knowing they were going to need to use him as a starter with the injury to Ben Grissett, losing Mitch Talbot. So pretty good foresight there. Coleman looking for a 1-2-3 inning here. He'll rock and deal the 0-2 just off the outside corner. Good frame job by Norris. Went right to the center of his glove, but he was sitting just off the outside corner, trying to induce the home plate umpire, who is John Sevier tonight. Joe Harris is at first. Brad Parker is at third. Again, they set up outside. This one misses by a bit. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. None on top of the first, just underway. Ira Lehman along with Will Scott. Lou Ford on deck. Coleman waits, rocks, fires. They set up inside, and this one is swung. It hits a second. On the grass is Colin Walsh in very short right. That'll do it. 3 ground ball outs, 3 up, 3 down go the Ducks. They do not score here in the top of the first. Skeeters coming to bat for the first time when we return. We move to the bottom of the first. Time to take a look at the starting lineup for your Sugar Land Skeeters. Colin Walsh, just back from the injury off the DL, will be on the top spot in bat second. Albert Cordero at third, bat second. The 3-hole hitter, Derek Norris, catching. In left field, Courtney Hawkins. He'll be the cleanup hitter, last night's hero. Matt Chavez at first, bats fifth. Dennis Phipps, the DH, bats sixth. Kyle Kibitza is in right, batting seventh. Batting eighth, Anthony Jansanti in center. And batting ninth, Skeeters shortstop, Alvaro Rondon. First pitch here from the southpaw, Jake Fisher, is swung on and popped up behind the plate. This one should make it to the seats, and it does.
And let's take a look at the defense for the Ducks. Lou Ford in left, Emilio Bonifacio manning center field, Daniel Fields fielding right field, Cody Puckett at third base, Dan Lyons at short, Jordani Valdespin at second base, first base Taylor Ard, and behind the plate catching, it's going to be Ramon Cabrera.
The next pitch is low. 1 ball and 1 strike the count here. Jake Fisher 2-0 at 3.48 ERA. This will be his 6th start. 31 innings, 25 strikeouts, just 1 walk amazingly in those 31 innings, and has allowed 41 hits. This one is low and in. 2 balls and a strike here.
Well, the last time Fisher played the Skeeters, he did pretty well. 8 innings, no runs.
This one is a little bit low. 3 balls and a strike. Last time out against the Road Warriors, got a no decision. 5 innings, 7 runs, 5 earned, 12 hits, no walks, 6 Ks. So got beat up a bit. This one on the outside corner, strike 2. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Walsh took a step towards first, thought he had ball 4. Well, you know one thing. Fisher's going to be around the plate with 1 walk on the season. This one swung on and missed. The bat goes flying back into the left of home plate. Strike 3. That is the first strikeout and first out for Jake Fisher. I'd say he was fooled.
Yeah, well, that was just his second at-bat since he's returned from the disabled list. Got in as a pitch hitter last night and lost the bat right there on a swing and miss third strike.
The lefty is officially Robert Jacob Fisher, goes by his middle name, 27 years old, 5'11", 180, from Oklahoma, selected by the Dodgers in the 22nd round in 2013 out of the University of Oklahoma. First pitch here to Skeeters third baseman Albert Cordero is a strike. Cordero comes in second in the league in hitting at 371 to go along with 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. The 0-1 slow number up the third base side. Fisher grabs it to the left side of the mound. The throw to first pulls the first baseman Ard off the bag. See if they score that a hit or not. It's going to be a tough play anyway for Fisher. Jumped on it. That was in the perfect spot.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think Coco probably would have gotten there in time, but not a great throw from Fisher. Way to the right of Taylor Ard. Ard really didn't even try to keep his foot on the bag there, just try to prevent the ball from going in the outfield.
They are going to score to hit. I'll bring in Derek Norris. Norris, last night, was hit by a pitch, and that, with 2 outs, set up the Courtney Hawkins home run.
That was his second straight time getting hit by a pitch.
First pitch here is low, 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Excuse me, that scoreboard is not correct. That is the first pitch, 1-0. The lefty Fisher looks at first, but kicks and fires home. This one is low. I guess the scoreboard was right, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. No score here, bottom of the first. Skeeters trying to take 2 of 3 here from the Ducks. And now they do change the scoreboard. It's still off. This one is off of Fisher. Where'd it go? Right side. The first baseman, Ard's going to pick it up. Even I didn't see it. It hit off his back, maybe even his backside. Caromed all the way over towards first. That's going to be a hit here for Norris.
Yeah, hit right on the numbers on his backside. And he was looking around for it. Actually went toward Taylor Ard at first base, and by the time Ard picked it up, Norris was already at first base.
Well, Hawkins' last night's hero, it was Ryan Posner who had him on the post-game show, and he said this about his big walk-off home run. He did miss it indeed. Clubbed to left field for a walk-off 2-run homer. Skiers were down not only to their final out, but they were down in that game by a score of 5-4. What a job by Hawkins. And just to recap that inning, it was Vinny Pistano who came on, struck out Barrett Barnes. He got Albert Cordero to ground out. Then Norris was hit by a pitch, and then Hawkins, who earlier on a fly ball to left, allowed 3 runs to score and lost a 4-2 lead for the Skeeters. They trailed 5-4 at that 2-run homer. Well, he is still first in the league in homers and now RBIs with 8 home runs and 30 ribbies here in game number 31. The 1-1. It's one chop foul back into left of home. 1-2 the count.
Well, he mentioned it in the post-game interview, and you and Ryan mentioned in the pregame show, but really redeems himself. He had a chance to get that ball in left field, and it ended up giving the Ducks the lead. He had an opportunity to win the game, and he stepped up and did. So really big at bat from last night from Hawkins. Huge for his confidence as well.
The 1-2, big breaking ball. That one, what a bender there, but stays a little high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. No score here in the bottom of the first. Skeeters have runners on first and second with only 1 away. The southpaw kicks and fires the 2-2. This one another curve. This one Hawkins waits on a little bit better. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You have 2 runners on that you could have probably gotten out. Obviously very unlucky with Fisher hitting the backside of Derek Norris, and then a bad throw to first base, try to get Cordero. So Courtney Hawkins now 2 runners on, an opportunity to give the Skeeters an early lead.
The 2-2 here from Fisher. Swung and fouled off right side. That will be blown into the seats. The wind coming in from left center. Well, Fisher ranks 7th in the Atlantic League with 31 innings pitched, allowing just 1 walk on the year, as I mentioned earlier, which is the fewest of any pitcher in the league with at least 20 innings. Fisher also ranks 8th in the league with 25 strikeouts. Long look in here by the lefty. You look at second. It comes home. This one is high. That'll run the count full 3-2. Interesting pitch here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, first and second. You could hit and run here. Mentioned the Skeeters when they score first. All right, night and day difference. 15-3 when they score first, 4-8 when they don't. Also 14-5 when they hit a home run. This one is fouled behind us, and a great at bat here by Hawkins. When they do not homer, they are 5-6.
Well, Fisher only 1 out. He's already at 18 pitches after that foul from Hawkins.
And we'll do another 3-2 here. See if Hawkins can't stay with him. Now, Fisher is not a hard thrower, but he is accurate. This one fouled off again.
nice to see that pitch count get up. We saw Fisher go 8 innings when he faced us on Long Island. He went 8 innings in that very next start against Somerset. If he gets pitch count up, start to see the bullpen.
This will be the 10th pitch coming here to Hawkins. This one is a slow roll at the short. They'll have a shot at 2. They go to second for 1. The reel it at first in time. Lions very good at short. Gold Glove winner goes 6-4-3, and the Ducks escape damage here in the first. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We are through 1 inning of play. No score between the Skeeters and the Ducks. We move to the top of the second inning. Skeeters left stranded. They had first and second, 1 out, could not score. Casey Coleman will begin his second inning of work, and he was flawless. 3 ground ball out, so he will face the mid of the order. 4, 5, and 6, Lou Ford, Ramon Cabrera, and then Taylor Art. Ford off to a great start. 252 for Lou, who is a .332 career hitter with the Ducks. 2 home runs, 18 RBIs. I saw him practicing today just in the batting cage, usually hitting off the tee with both hands. He was just hitting off the tee with just his front hand, which is your power hand. Maybe he feels he's not bringing it through quick enough, and you know, you get slower with age. Lou is 41 years old, but you'd never know it. The way he plays the outfield and his bat speed.
He's also a coach for the Ducks.
Yep, the hitting coach leads by example. Glenn steps forward, the former big leaguer. Number 20, Lou has a sweet swing. Last 6 games, though, just 4 for 25, a 160 mark. That is very un-Ford-like. This one is a little bit low and away. 1 ball and no strikes to count here to Lou.
His last 10 games, he's only batting .216, 8 for his last 37.
Coleman 16 pitches so far, 11 for strikes. This one hit to the right side. Tough hop for Chavez. Had him played perfectly. He'll beat Ford to the bag. 3 unassisted. So 4 up, 4 down for Coleman, all via the ground ball. 2 to first and 2 to second. I'll bring in Ramon Cabrera. 345 for Ramon. No home runs and 2 RBIs. Cabrera in 8 games with the Ducks has 4 multi-hit games, including going 2 for 4 yesterday. A check of our weather. The nice days, I think, are behind us now. It is unbelievable.
This is very
today.
nice, I think.
Anyway, it's 88 degrees. It is 63% humidity and a south-southeast 12-mile-an-hour wind. It will be 96, 97, and 98 in the next 3 days.
Like I said, I refuse to complain about 88-degree temperatures where I just came from.
This one is low and away. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's hot. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. None on. No score here in the top of the second between the Skeeters and the Ducks in the rubber game of a 3-game series. This series knotted at 1. And the Skeeters come from behind win yesterday. This one is skied into shallow center. It's going to be the Skeeters shortstop Alvaro Rondon. Will bring it down behind the second base bag for out number 2. And the first ball has gotten out of the infield. So 5 up, 5 down for Coleman. Looking for a second straight 1-2-3 inning.
Barely got out of the infield right there. Good communication between Walsh and Rondon. Walsh, obviously, his first game back, trying to get back in a rhythm at second base.
Tell you, the Skeeters had a major league double play combination between Walsh and Ray Navarro, who was signed by the Yankees, but Rondon and Walsh, that's not too shabby either. Rondon really phenomenal, really does have a big league glove at least. First pitch here is high and outside, 1-0 to Taylor Ard, who was batting .429 early on in his Ducks career. No home runs and no RBIs, just joined them in game 1. Righty-righty matchup here for Coleman. He'll rock and deal the 1-0. Curveball catches most of the heart of the plate for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Coleman so far a 2-to-1 strike to ball ratio. 14 strikes, 7 for balls. 21 total pitches. The 1-1 here from the right-hander. This one's swung, a hit out to right field. Kubica going back, still going back, reaches up and it's over his head. I'll be up against the base of the wall. It's going to be a double for Ard. And I think Kubica may have misjudged it. I'm kind of surprised because the wind is blowing in. You think that ball would have been held up for Kubica, but it just kept going.
I personally thought that ball was going to come in a little bit more. Kubica also probably thought that because it went right over his head. He backtracked, he didn't get there in time. It's going to result in a double for Ard. And just like that, the Ducks have a runner in scoring position.
That's surprising. It shows you how hard that ball was hit. Ard had to hit it through the wind. That'll bring in Cody Puckett. First pitch here to Puckett, a strike on the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Puckett, an all-star here in the Atlantic League in 2015, the Las Vegas native. Last 5 games, 6 for 17, a 353 mark, but before that, the previous 10 games, he was just 8 for 38, a 211 clip. This one is a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes to count here on Puckett. Puckett yesterday was on base twice with a single and a walk and scored a run. Coleman from the stretch looks at the runner at second. Ard comes home, and this one a check swing, but he went around. Norris couldn't tag him. He had to throw it down to first to complete it. He does. First K of the day, and there is 3 away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Middle of the second inning, no score between the Skeeters and the Ducks. Welcome back to Constellation Field. Ira Lehman along with Will Scott. We move to the bottom of the second. The Skeeters will try to strike first here. Skeeters will send up Matt Chavez, Dennis Phipps, and Kyle Kubica. Matt Chavez, 361, good for 6th in the league with a home run and 18 RBIs. And the DH Phipps and the right fielder Kyle Kubica. Time for this day in baseball history, a little Baseball 101. Brought to you by our good friends at Texas State Technical College in Fort Bend County. Make your own history by earning your associate's degree at TSTC. Visit tstc.edu to learn more. On this day, May 31st, 2006, the Astros announced that Roger Clemens is coming out of retirement to pitch for the team for the remainder of the season after coming to terms with the right-hander on a deal worth $22 million. The 43-year-old right-hander would finish the season 7-6 with a 2.30 ERA and would not pitch again until 7 years later when Clemens would come out of retirement again and pitch here for the Skeeters in the inaugural season in 2012. And that's a look at this day in baseball history brought to you by Texas State Technical College. First pitch here is swung on and missed by Chavez. No balls and 1 strike to count to Matt. Chavez yesterday starting to get back into the swing of things. 2 for 4, 2 singles and an RBI. Chavez got something in his eye there. Something's going on. Didn't see the ball hit him or anything. Plate umpire took the ball out to the pitcher personally, then dusted off the plate. You don't see umpires dust off the plate much anymore. Why is that? Used to do it like every couple of batters.
I mean, some guys like to do it, some guys don't, but you're right, you used to see it a lot more than you do today. I mean, I kind of like it, you know, keep the plate clean.
This one is chopped, foul 0-2. You can see the whole plate as the umpire. You say those dry paint brushes. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Although when a manager gets mad and they kick dirt on the plate, well, you're going to have to dust it off eventually there. 0-2 the count here on Chavez as he steps back into the box. The lefty Fisher fires, and this one, what a curveball. Broke from nose to toes, and that is out number 1.
And Chavez knew it too.
Second strikeout for Fisher. 1 out, none on it here for Dennis Phipps. Phipps the DH, 340 of the home run and 9 RBIs for Dennis. Phipps 2 for 4 last night, a double and an RBI single. First pitch here under the hands of Phipps. 1 ball and no strikes to count. No score here in the bottom of the second. Fisher so far, 24 pitches, 16 for strikes. This one fouled at the plate, and that's off the foot of Phipps, so he's going to try to walk it off here.
Something I found really impressive about Dennis Phipps is that he was named the Venezuelan Winter League Player of the Year this past season. And you look at some of the guys that are playing in the Venezuelan Winter League, pretty much every single Venezuelan major leaguer returns home in the winter to play in that league. It's unbelievable. He was the Player of the Year last season.
And that's why Pete Incavilla brought him back. This one is sky to center field. Emilio Bonifacio coming in, fighting that sun and the wind, and brings it down for the second out. And with a guy who throws nothing but strikes and doesn't walk anybody, what's your approach against him as a team?
Just try to, get the bat on the ball.
But do you do that early in the count or try to wait him out a little, make him work?
You got to be aggressive. Got to be aggressive. You've seen it. When he gets ahead in the count, he's unhittable.
This one is outside. This is not a guy who is going to throw very hard because he has to be accurate. He's going to be around the plate, and if you're a good hitter, I'm just thinking, look right around the plate, and you're probably going to get a good pitch to hit. This one way inside, 2-0. I mean, he's throwing 83, 84. He's not going to blow you away. Kubica, the right fielder, 257, 3 home runs, 22 RBIs. The 22 ribbies good for 4th in the league. This one way inside again. Almost hits Kubica. 3 balls and no strikes to count. Remember, only 1 walk this entire season for Fisher, and that was in his second start. The 3-0. This one is ball 4, so a 4-pitch walk for a guy who has issued just 1 walk before tonight's game. So second walk of the season. And when you look at even up to date, he has struck out 27 guys and now walked just 2.
Yeah, 31 innings pitched and only 1 walk coming into this game. Quite shocking. Not only was it a walk, but it was a 4-pitch walk.
With 1 on and 2 out, Anthony Jansanti will step in here. First pitch here to Anthony. This one swung and grounded toward short. Lyons has it. He'll flip it to second, and that'll do it. Fielder's choice goes down 6-4. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. We are through 2, and we are still scoreless. Now we move to the top of the third inning. I want to remind you, tomorrow we'll be on radio. 96.1 FM is Sugarland's only radio station and the new radio home of the Sugarland Skeeters. Listen to the Friday night game of the week each and every Friday night, both at home and on the road for the entire 2018 season. 96.1 FM and the Skeeters. It doesn't get any sweeter. No score here as we move to the top of the third. For the Ducks here in the top of the third, it'll be 8-9-1 Daniel Fields, Dan Lyons, and Jordani Valdesby. 8-9-1. Swan and Sky down the left side. No balls and 1 strike to count. 2-13 for Fields, no home runs and 3 RBIs. Fields' last 7 games was just 2 for 24, an 083 mark before going 2 for 3 last night. The 0-1 by Coleman. This one a little high and tight. Lifts up the hands. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. No runs on 1 hit for the Ducks. No runs on 2 hits for the Skeeters. Coleman rocks and deals the 1-1, and this one is a strike. No, wow. This one thrown back over the head of Coleman. Goes past second. Skeeters shortstop Alvaro Rondon will retrieve it. 2 balls and a strike here on Fields.
Those 2 balls that Coleman just threw could have easily been called strikes, both of them.
They set up inside. The 2-1 swung and fouled off. That will go in and out of the Skeeters dugout. There's big Mike Garcia. He retrieves that one. He's going to bring out a whole bunch of balls. Skeeters bat boy always does a fine job. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here. So far, Coleman has retired 6 of the 7 he has faced. This one is a bullet. That one into left field to the right of Albert Cordero, and he's going to go for second. It is dropped by Courtney Hawkins. We'll see if that's a single and an error or a double. Remember, Hawkins yesterday made that big error late. Dropped the ball with the bases loaded. 3 runs scored, but he certainly redeemed himself by hitting a walk-off home run.
Yeah, the shift was kind of on. Cordero was to the left of third base. Ball just went right past him, and Hawkins bobbled it. Probably would have been a double anyway. Let's just see how that's ruled.
Looks like they're going to score a double. I don't see the error, and I see the second hit up there. So we'll call it a double for now. So a leadoff double. That'll bring in the shortstop, Dan Lyons, and Dan is really struggling. He is 0 for his last 18 over his last 6 ball games. They officially, they rule in an error. There'll be a single and an error. This one is swung and missed. Now you can see that both ways. Fields didn't stop, but I don't think he gets the second at all if Hawkins does not bobble that.
Well, Hawkins has a pretty strong arm, so had he not bobbled it, maybe Fields would have been out at second base.
The 2-1. This one is low and away. 3 balls and a strike here. Well, Coleman, who went 3 innings in his only appearance. Certainly a low pitch count, but you wonder how far he'll go tonight. 34 pitches, 24 for strikes. The 2-1. This one is just off the outside corner. 3 balls and a strike here.
We've mentioned that Lyons has been with the Ducks for 8 seasons. He was actually the Championship Series MVP in 2012. He hit 2 walk-offs in that series, Ira.
Including a walk-off bunt, which they called the bunt heard around the world. The 2-2. This one is a strike. 3 on the outside corner. Lyons can't believe it. He's rung up, and now he is 0 for his last 19. Well, second K of the day, and there's one away. Big strikeout for Coleman.
Yeah, Lyons was kind of arguing with home plate umpire John Sevier about that one, but that was no doubt right over the plate. Perfect pitch from Coleman.
Well, that'll bring in Jordani Valdesby as we go back to the top of the order. The left-hand hitting second baseman is 0 for 1, and doesn't it make him, what, 0 for 9 in this series?
0 for 10 now.
Wow. Came in 7th in the league in hitting, too. There's a strike. No balls and 1 strike to count. So identical line scores. No runs, a pair of hits, and no errors for both teams.
He's just 3 for his last 22. It's a 140 average from a guy that we've been expecting a lot more from this series.
They set up away, big swing and a miss. And now Coleman ahead, no balls and 2 strikes to count. Skeeters trying to take 2 of 3 here from the Ducks, and they will welcome in the York Revolution. It'll be the first time home or road the Skeeters will face the Rams, the defending Atlantic League champions. The 0-2. Swollen and chop right side of the mound. Coleman has it. He's going to take it himself to first. There you go, Casey. Casey not at the bat, but on the mound. The mighty Casey. That'll be 1 unassisted.
He's
Going to third is Fields.
Keeping his eye on Fields at third base. Making sure he doesn't run home. Fields obviously pretty speedy, but this would be huge. 2 outs now. If he can get out of this inning with Fields that leadoff single in air, be big for Coleman's confidence making his first start.
He's going to get past or a big leaguer Emilio Bonifacio first with the runner 90 feet away at third. In on the cut is Cordero at third. Big swing and a miss here. Coleman dials it up to 91 on the gun. No balls and 1 strike to count.
Bonifacio actually grew up a big Dodger fan, and Coleman was drafted by the Dodgers.
No balls and 1 strike here to Bonifacio. He'll kick and deal, and this one is way outside to the left-handed hitter. 1 ball and 1 strike. No score here, top of the third. Skeeters trying to keep it that way, but Daniel Fields down at third with 2 down. Skeeters last night, their 4th come from behind victory. Like to play in front here tonight. They set up outside the 1-1. This one high and tight, almost hits Bonifacio. Yikes, that was way off target. You wonder how long they will let Coleman go and how quickly they'll have somebody up in the bullpen. Certainly not yet, even if a run does score. But you got to think he is on the watch list probably after next inning. The 2-1, this one way outside, 3-1. A good hitter's count here for Emilio. Coleman now steps off here momentarily. Catch a breather here. 3-1 pitch coming to Bonifacio. Coleman sets. They set up inside the 3-1. This one high ball 4. First free pass issued by Coleman. Runners on the corners, first and third. The left-hand hitting DH Travis Snyder. Snyder 0 for 1, grounded to second, comes in 237 with 3 home runs and 19 RBIs.
Snyder actually spent last season in Texas with the Round Rock Express. He had 294 with 9 homers, 41 RBIs in 100 games there. Then he was traded from the Rangers to the Mets, played 10 games for the Las Vegas 51s, hit 308 in those games, then elected free agency.
A lot going on in Las Vegas these days. And his teammate Cody Puckett from Vegas as well. Just joining us, Las Vegas native Danny Reynolds, who had a scoreless inning last night, was signed by the Brewers, so congratulations to him. That is the 6th member of the Skeeters in 30 days signed by an affiliated team. So the Skeeters have lost another one of the contenders, but continue to replenish, and really that's what this league is all about, getting guys back to affiliated and then hopefully back to the big leagues at some point. Throw to first. Did they get him? No! Wow, good throw by Coleman. Pretty quick feet there.
Yeah, Bonifacio barely got back there in time from second. Coleman threw that. I thought he might have had him. Bang, bang play at first base.
Another throw to first. Oh, I thought they had him that time. Wow.
That might have been even closer than the first throw over.
The Skeeters 19-11. Their second best start in franchise history. The first was a 25-5 start when the Skeeters set the Atlantic League record with 95 wins in 2013. The 1-0 here to Snyder. This one, a great off-speed pitch. Catches the heart of the zone for a strike. 1-1 the count.
Coleman actually spent last year with the Astros organization, AAA Fresno. Posted a 6.75 ERA in California.
2 on, 2 out, runners on the corners here for the Ducks. No score. Top of the third inning. They set up away, and the 1-1 is high, 2-1.
It's funny because, you know, you think Coleman Astros organization. No, back in Texas with the Skeeters, but Fresno's not too close to here. Last time I checked.
Yeah, they're going to have to do some. That affiliation is not going to last much longer. That's just too far to have.
It just doesn't make any sense because Oklahoma City has the Dodgers AAA team. Fresno has the Astros AAA team.
Throw to first, and again, just getting back is Bonifacio. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Well, there'll be a shakeup next year. San Antonio will become a AAA team, so you think maybe the Astros go back to Round Rock, maybe the Rangers go to Oklahoma City, or maybe the Rangers come to San Antonio.
Are they still going to be in the same organization, the Missions? Are they?
I don't believe so now.
Okay.
They'll be moving. There goes Bonifacio. The throw down to second is not in time. Good throw there by Norris. Thought for a second Fields might take a dash home, but he didn't.
Yeah, Fields took a couple steps toward home plate and stopped as that ball was being thrown to second.
Bonifacio now 7-0 in stolen base attempts. Also the 27th steal for the Ducks. Now a base hit would make it 2-0. First base is open, so he can elect to pitch around Schneider and go after Lou Ford, but that is a dangerous proposition even with Ford slumping. This one outside, ball 4. Coleman really starting to lose his stuff here. Here comes Skeeters pitching coach Corey Dommel. That must mean somebody's about to get throwing in the Skeeters pen. Now, just short of 50 pitches. Next pitch by Coleman will be 50, 30 of them for strikes. Remember, only 3 innings in his only appearance for the Skeeters. What do you try to tell him here, Will?
Just, to get back in his zone. He's kind of pitching just away from guys. And, obviously he's kind of concerned about the 2 runners that were in scoring position. But Lou Ford, a guy that's been really struggling as of late, don't be afraid to throw to him. Try to get him to strike out, and all you need is 1 out here to get out of this jam.
Now, Lou Ford, not the guy you want to face with the bases loaded. He is an absolute terror with any count. And with the bases loaded, well, he's 3 for 4, batting .750 with 10 RBIs. So I'd say be careful with Ford. Ford, despite a slump or hitting well, he is always a danger, even at 41 years old. Let's see if Coleman can get past the tough 4. This one is a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike to count. No balls, 2 strikes, and no outs here. 0-1 the count coming to 4. They'll set up away, and this one's swung and missed. No balls and 2 strikes. I've seen Ford numerous times over 7 years be down 0-2 and still wind up getting a hit somewhere. Getting that 3rd strike past any great hitter is always the toughest.
9th season in the Atlantic League. He's going to get right back in this at-bat if he can.
The 0-2 swung on and missed, strike 3. He gets the tough Ford on a great slider low and away, and that will do it. 2nd strikeout of the inning. And there is 3 away. We move to the middle of the 3rd. The Skeeters and Ducks are scoreless in this one. We move to the the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Time to take a look around the Atlantic League scoreboard here. A couple of games already decided. Somerset and the Barnstormers already played a doubleheader. Somerset won game 1 8-3. The Barnstormers squeaked out a victory 6-5 in game 2. Now if the Skeeters win here today, they will pick up a half game and be a game and a half back of the front-running Barnstormers. Rain in York, Southern Maryland, and York, a game postponed due to rain. New Britain out big on the Road Warriors, 6-0 in the bottom of the 8th. All right, here the Skeeters and the Ducks are scoreless. The Skeeters lost game 1, a score of 1-0, and in game 2, that was that crazy seesaw battle last night. Scoreless through 4. Ducks struck first with a pair in the 5th, and then in the 6th, the Skeeters got a solo run. 3 in the 7th, looked like they're on their way to a 4-2 win, but the drop fly ball by Courtney Hawkins with the bases loaded, 3 scored. Skeeters are down 5-4, and then 2 runs in the 9th. They had 2 out and none on. Derek Norris was hit by a pitch, and Courtney Hawkins with the walk-off. So here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning, the Skeeters will try to strike first by sending up 9-1-2. Alvaro Rondon, Colin Walsh, and Albert Cordero.
Rondon, of course, getting the off day yesterday. Good to see him back in the lineup because he's been playing very well.
So in steps Rondon, 253, no home runs, 10 RBIs. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup here with the left-handing Rondon stepping in and squares to bunt, but takes it for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to count. See how Fisher has done here through the first 2 innings. Just 32 pitches, 20 for strikes. And a strike called here against Rondon, and he did not like it at all. And both sides have had complaints early. 0-2 here to Rondon. They set up outside. This one is just off the outside corner, a floater that misses. 1-2. Sun across both the infield and outfield. Only sun remaining on the Skeeters community signs. The 1-2. Swung and a miss, strike 3. So Rondon down on 3 pitches. 3rd strikeout for Fisher. 1 out, none on. We go back to the top of the order with Colin Walsh. Walsh, who was the first of the 3 strikeout victims, the first batter that Fisher faced, so he is 0 for 1. Came in at 286, no home runs and 4 RBIs. First pitch to Walsh, a strike right down the middle. No balls and 1 strike to count. This one swung, hit high in the air to left field and deep, going back to the track and reaching up at the base of the wall is left fielder Lou Ford. Told you, Lou Ford, 41 years old, but still with a quick bat and still a terrific outfielder for the 2nd out.
Yeah, he hasn't been in the field the past couple games, but when that left the bat, looked like it might have been extra bases, but credit Lou Ford getting back there at the wall, making the catch.
So 2 outs, none on. Cordero singled his first time up, one of the 2 Skeeters hits. No score here in the bottom of the 3rd. Cordero came in 371, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. A switch hitter batting here from the right side. This one fouled off down the right side. No balls and 1 strike to count.
It's nice to see, though. I know Colin Walsh just flew out to left field, but see him getting some power on that swing. Just returned from the disabled list, obviously.
The 0-1 here by the southpaw Fisher. This one swung, a hit high in the air down the left side, but foul, and I think Cordero broke his bat, and he did. Can hear the crack all the way from up here as he throws the old piece of lumber away, and the Skeeters bat boy gets him a new bat. Now, part of the pace of play rules, which is some of the ones that are not known, is that you're supposed to have a bat ready in those situations, but I don't really think it does all that much. And again, the pace of play rules not to shorten the game, which everybody thinks, just to keep the game moving, so you have a consistent pace. No balls and 2 strikes here on Cordero as Fisher tries for his first 1-2-3 inning against Sugar Land. This one a curveball that did not quite snap off, went high and way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fisher now at 40 pitches, 26 for strikes, 14 for balls. The 1-2 misses outside, 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 3rd, none on for the Skeeters, no score. The 2-2 to Cordero. Swung and a missed, strike 3, way out in front of an off-speed pitch. 2nd strikeout of the inning, 4th of the game for Mr. Fisher. Fisher continues his dominance. He is extremely efficient and has only walked 1, only his 2nd walk of the season. A third of the way through, end of the 3rd inning. Skeeters nothing, Ducks nothing. Well, we move to the top of the fourth inning. To will you through the next two, it's Will Scott to take you through.
Thank you very much, sir. I see what you did there with the will through.
You know, I have a few tricks up my sleeve.
Skeeters and the Ducks, much like yesterday and the day before, scoreless through 3 innings as we head to the 4th inning. Ramon Cabrera, Taylor Ard, and Cody Puckett due up for Long Island. Casey Coleman making his first start of the season for Sugar Land and got out of a bases-loaded jam by striking out Lou Ford in that last inning. Ira, we were talking about before the game, you know, first start of the season, you normally don't see guys go past the 5th inning, but with Coleman keeping the Ducks scoreless today, could we see him reach maybe the 6th inning?
No, not at all.
You don't think so?
No, only 3. Saw him struggle last inning. I think if you get him through this inning, you consider yourself lucky. In fact, looks like the Skeeters already have action in their bullpen, and they do.
Ramon Cabrera, the former Cincinnati Red, steps into the batter's box here, take the first offering from Coleman. And he looks at ball 1 outside. Cabrera spent 2015 and 2016 with the Cincinnati Reds, a .264 career batting average with 26 RBIs in 74 major league games over those 2 seasons. Second pitch on the way, and that's fouled off behind home plate as he steps out of the box here and takes a little stroll around the home plate umpire John Severe. 1-1 count on another gorgeous night here in Sugar Land, Texas. A slight breeze blowing in from right field. Coleman kicks and fires, and it's a ground ball hit right at Chavez first base, who will run and step on the bag for out number 1. That'll bring up Taylor Ard, the first baseman, who is 4 of 7 to start his career with the Ducks. That's not too shabby, Ira.
Not bad at all.
He was our player of the game the other night. One down here in the 4th inning. Ducks 0, Skeeters 0. First pitch on the way. And that is swung on and missed by Taylor Ard, the Washington State graduate. Ard was actually an all-star in Jupiter, the Advanced A team for the Marlins, in 2014. That is chopped right at Cordero at third base. Throw back over to first in time for out number 2. 2 down here for Coleman. 2 quick outs. That's exactly what you want to see from a guy that kind of looks sluggish there in that last inning. Able to strike out Lou Ford, though, and get out of it without any damage. But now you bring up Cody Puckett, who has been doing some damage as of late. .352 average in his last 10 games. He struck out his first time up today. The delivery from Coleman, and that is skied to the shortstop. Rondon gets under it, makes the catch. So 3 up, 3 down. No hits, no runs, no. Top of the 4th inning. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Ducks 0, Sugar Land 0. Welcome back to Constellation Field. Skeeters and Ducks scoreless here as we start the bottom half of the fourth inning. Derek Norris, Courtney Hawkins, and Matt Chavez due up for Sugar Land. Norris singled his first time up. It's kind of funny. He hit the back of Jake Fisher's back and was able to reach on, well, I guess what you could call an infield single. We'll see what he can do this time up, trying to get the Skeeters going here. Third straight game, the Skeeters have been held scoreless going into the fourth inning. First pitch on the way from Fisher to the former Major Leaguer Norris is fouled off behind home plate. 0-1 count to Norris. Jake Fisher, the University of Oklahoma graduate, is a very, very good player with the Sooners there. .250 ERA in his senior season. Was drafted by the Dodgers, of course. 0-1 pitch from Fisher. And that's a little bit upstairs and outside. Called a ball by John Sevier. Fisher, the pitch on the way, and that's inside. For ball two, 2-1 count to Derek Norris. Norris in his last 5 games, 5 of 18, .278 average, and 9 of his last 12 hits have gone for extra bases, 6 doubles and 3 home runs. The 2-1 for Fisher, and that's fouled off again. That'll make it a 2-2 count. This is Fisher's second season with Long Island. He just had 4 starts last season, but one of them was a complete game against Somerset in the Liberty Division Championship. So even though he didn't play much for Long Island last season, definitely contributed in that playoff run. And that's a deep foul ball hit down the left side. Norris staying alive in the at-bat. Jake Fisher's grandfather, Bruce, actually a former wrestler. He won 2 national titles with Oklahoma State in the 60s. Oklahoma State, obviously a wrestling dynasty in Stillwater.
Don't charge the mound.
Ground ball hit at shortstop. Throw back over to first in time. Dan Lyons to Taylor Ard for out number 1. That'll bring up Courtney Hawkins, last night's hero. He grounded into a double play his first time up. The Atlantic League's home run and RBI leader. First pitch on the way to Hawkins is swung on and missed. Sun starting to set here in Sugar Land. Fisher deals, and he delivers a strike. Swung on and missed by Hawkins. 0-2 counts. Fisher has been deadly when he's been ahead in the count. Let's see what Hawkins can do here. That's fouled off down the left side toward the Freddy's sign. We had Freddy's last week, didn't we?
Well, you went to town, I'll say that much.
I am a big frozen custard fan, I guess you could say.
What about the hamburger, the fries, and everything else before that?
0-2 swung on and missed for strike 3. That is the 5th strikeout of the night.
6th in a row retired by Fisher as well.
Yeah, I mean, everything is good at Freddy's. I mean, you got not only the frozen custard, because the first time I went there, I'm like, okay, custard place, I'm just going to have custard. But then I started having the food there. I'm like, okay, pretty solid.
You're a college guy. You'll eat anything in front of you.
Matt Chavez up to the plate now, and he whiffs at the first offering from Jake Fisher. Fisher, once again, doing very well against the Sugar Land team. On Long Island, I guess you should say, as he delivers the second pitch, and it's looked at for a strike. Nice little curveball right there. Ended up right over the plate. His first start against Sugar Land, 8 innings pitched, no earned runs, 10 strikeouts, Thus far, he's through 3 2/3 with 5 strikeouts, no runs. The 0-2. Hit very well at Dan Lyons, who made a nice play at shortstop to throw back over to first for the 3rd out. So we head to the top of the 5th inning, and ladies and gentlemen, we are scoreless once again heading into the 5th inning for the 3rd straight night.
Well, new pitcher on the hill for the Skeeters, the newest member of the Skeeters, number 34, James Russell. Russell is 6'4", 205 from Cincinnati, Ohio. Former big leaguer, 12 years as a pro, and he was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. And seems that the Skeeters lose a big leaguer, and they get one right back. Well, he has a significant amount of big league time, 7 years with the Cubs, the Braves, and the Phillies. Lifetime big league record of 10-18 with a 4.09 ERA and 4 saves. So Skeeters seems to be getting richer and richer here. It's unbelievable. Lifetime, he is 10-18 with a 4.09 ERA. Skeeters got themselves a pretty good replacement and a lefty out of the bullpen. That is not too shabby. Big league lefties coming to premium.
Well, the Skeeters don't rebuild, they reload. Pete Incaviglia likes to bring in those former major leaguers, and obviously Danny Reynolds, who hadn't allowed a run all season, a big loss. But you're bringing in a guy like Russell, who has a lot of pedigree. It'll be interesting to see how he does tonight. Coming in the 5th inning, replacing Coleman, who looked very solid. 4 scoreless innings, got out of that 3rd inning jam in his first ever start.
He got 4 innings out of him, went 3 last time, so I think you're pretty happy. 4 innings, just 2 hits, no runs earned or otherwise, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts, and you can't complain about 4 shutout innings.
Daniel Fields, the right fielder, up to bat for the Ducks. He singled his first time up. Fields spent the 2017 season with the Bluefish. So James Russell on the hill, making his Skeeters debut. First pitch from Russell in a Skeeter uniform is fouled off behind home plate for strike 1. Daniel Fields last season with the Bluefish actually did very well, Ira, as you know, a .297 average, 12 homers and 51 RBIs in 85 games. The 0-1 from Russell, swung on and missed. Daniel Fields chased at that one.
Pretty good curve right there, way out in front of it.
See if Russell can strike out his first batter in a Skeeter uniform. He's going to peel, and he did go. That is a strikeout. S-T-I-R-E-O-U-T in honor of the National Spelling Bee tonight.
Oh, boy, here we go. You didn't finish it with strikeout, so sorry. Ding.
Oh, come on.
You have to say the word. Tell us about the National Spelling Bee. I know you're a huge fan.
It's quite honestly my favorite event of the entire year.
So no World Series, you don't care about that?
Nope.
Or the Super Bowl, the Stanley Cup, the NBA Championship,
Nope.
Spelling Bee?
Nope. It's all about the Spelling Bee. First pitch on the way to Dan Lyons, who struck out his first time up.
Are you a good speller?
I'm a terrible speller.
Then why do you admire the Spelling Bee?
Did you not notice I had to spell out strikeout on my own? I couldn't do it off the top of my head.
That's just sad. Those orange men, what are they teaching you up there in Syracuse?
I mean, I am a journalism major, so.
Yeah, everyone thinks writers got to spell. It's not this day and age. I mean, spell check does everything for you.
The 0-2. And that is going to get past Colin Walsh into right field. That will be a single for Dan Lyons. That gets him out of an 0 for 18 slump, Ira.
Yeah, that was a big 0 for 19 after striking out his first time up.
So a runner on, and that'll bring up Jordani Valdespin, who is 0 for 11 against the Skeeters in this series.
Don't be surprised to see him bunt here, or at least try.
He has not been successful on those bunt attempts thus far here in Sugar Land. You know, you said I didn't get credit for this, but I said strikeout before.
No, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. You got to say
How
it
many
after.
spelling bees have you watched?
A lot.
Do they ever say it before?
Well, they say Kabaragoya, K-R blah, 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 Kabar. So they say it before and after.
Exactly. So you failed. You didn't make the word sandwich there.
Is that what you call it, a word sandwich?
Yeah, I think I just made that up. I coined it. Copyright. I really. So what is it about the spelling bee that you admire for a guy who can't spell?
It's just so entertaining. It gets intense.
There's a lot of pressure on these kids, I'll say that. It's worse than the Little League World Series.
Valdespin fouls off. Third pitch to him makes it a 1-2 count. Valdespin, obviously a very talented hitter, Ira, but Skeeters' pitching has been pretty solid thus far in this series. But why do you think it's been other guys stepping up and not Valdespin, former major leaguer?
I mean, just because you're a big leaguer doesn't mean you're going to dominate in this league for 127 games. You're going to go through your slumps just like you would in the big leagues. And not exactly slumping, and the guy's 7th in the league and hitting at 350. Skeeters just held him in check. Maybe they had a game plan against him.
Valdespin, a 4-year major league veteran, 2 seasons with the Mets and 2 with the Marlins. Actually broke the Mets franchise record for pitch hit home runs in a single season with 5. The 1-2. Ground ball hit at Cordero. Cordero scoops it up, throw over to first to Chavez for out number 2. Runner will advance to second base in Lions. Lions in scoring position now with Emilio Bonifacio, another former major leaguer, coming up for the Ducks.
Even our PA announcer Shane likes saying Emilio Bonifacio.
Oh, yeah. I saw Shane involved in a music video.
Yeah, that was one of the lower moments in his career. What was the name of that song? I'm trying to think of the singer from the Yeah, who sings that?
It was a one-hit wonder. It went viral on accident. It was just kind of a little fun thing he did, and boom, it got, like, what, 200 million views? First pitch on the way to Bonifacio is a strike.
Well, he was a legit singer. You know, just a couple of songs and he was done.
Bonifacio just batting .244 in his last 10 games. He has grounded out and walked thus far in this one. And he fouls off the second pitch. In the stands behind the Skeeters dugout. Bonifacio, .313 overall average, no home runs, 8 RBIs. Time called. So Russell trying to, in his Skeeters debut, get a scoreless inning. That would make Pete Incaviglia happy after losing Danny Reynolds to the Brewers. You know, Brewers obviously been playing good ball. I'd love to see Danny Reynolds maybe be involved in the playoff race if he can get up to the big leagues by the end of the season. The 0-2. Down low, Bonifacio does not chase. Makes it a 1-2 count with 2 outs here. Skeeters and the Ducks still scoreless here in the top of the 5th inning. Ducks with 3 hits, Skeeters with 2. Russell trying to retire Bonifacio in his Skeeters debut. Just a tad outside. Bonifacio kind of lunged toward that pitch but did not swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to the former Atlanta Brave. Actually played for the Braves last season. Russell. And that one is fouled off once again. Bonifacio staying alive in this at-bat. Russell so far, 15 pitches, 12 strikes, only 3 balls. 2 of them have been to Bonifacio. Norris sets up a little bit outside. Does not get the call right there on ball 3. Payoff pitch upcoming to Emilio Bonifacio.
He's ahead 0-2, now runs the count full. Runner at second will not be going anywhere, no force. So you can be careful here. Travis Snyder, the lefty-lefty matchup might be better for James Russell.
The 3-2 to Bonifacio is grounded at Colin Walsh, second base. To first base, Chavez for out number 3. Scoreless for Skeeters pitching. 4 from the starter Coleman, and then 1 from James Russell in his debut. 1 hit, 1 runner stranded as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Skeeters nothing, Ducks nothing. Welcome back to Constellation Field. Scoreless as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Russell in his first inning with Sugar Land went scoreless. Runner was stranded on second base. Dennis Phipps, Kyle Kubica, and Anthony Giansanti due up for Sugar Land. Phipps flew out to center his first time up in the 2nd inning. Skeeters trying to get something going here. They didn't score until the 6th inning last night and scored 3 runs in the 7th inning, and of course the walk-off home run in the 9th.
The Skeeters hadn't scored in 15 innings before getting on the board finally in the middle of last night's game.
They were of course shut out on Tuesday in a 1-0 loss. So leading off, it'll be the DH Dennis Phipps, 340 average, 1 home run, 9 RBIs. Like I said, he flew out his first time up. Jake Fisher still on the mound for the Ducks. And Phipps looks at strike 1. Jake Fisher at Keys High School, that is fouled off. It'll make it an 0-2 count. He was an all-conference pitcher of the year at his high school. He actually played at Connors State Junior College before going to OU.
Where's Connors State?
Believe that is in Oklahoma. 0-2 to Phipps, fouled off down the left side.
He's got some curveball, man. He's got at least 6 or 8 inches maybe even on his curveball.
Credit Phipps protecting the plate right there on 2 strikes. Tough to get back in the at-bat against Fisher. He has struck out 6 batters. And that one is outside for ball 1.
Well, he had 10 strikeouts in the last 2 starts combined, but the start before that he had 10 strikeouts in 8 innings. Must be something in the Ducks' water. Or in the pond.
Always like how you call the Ducks bullpen the little duck pond out there in right field.
I'm still lacking with the Revolution. There's nothing to go there. The Patriots, you know, for the Revolution, for the Bees, it's the Hive. For the Barnstormers, it's the Barn.
Phipps looks at ball 2. 2-2 count.
Used to use the fishbowl for Bridgeport.
Fishbowl. And just like that, Phipps has forced a payoff pitch, was down in the count 0-2. Now it's a 3-2 count to Phipps, who has definitely been the Skeeters' hottest hitter as of late. Payoff pitch, and nearly hits Phipps. Did it hit him? I don't think so, but that was way inside as he trots over to first base. So that's just the second walk of the day and only the third of the season from Jake Fisher, Ira.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how this guy has had just one walk coming into this game in 5 starts. And Skeeters are patient hitters, and they're leading the league in walks, so no surprise that they have doubled his output. Still 2 walks over 4 innings is not terrible by any stretch.
Kyle Kubica batting from the right side. He smokes that to right field. But a great running catch by Daniel Fields, able to track it down. When that left the bat, it looked like it was going to be extra bases. But out number 1, Phipps probably would not have scored had that ball dropped, but definitely would have gotten to at least third base as Anthony Giansanti steps in the box. Definitely a sharply hit ball by Kubica right there, swinging at the first pitch. Throw back over to first. Giansanti 258 coming into this one with 3 homers, 10 RBIs. He grounded out his first time up. And looks at strike 1. Giansanti last 10 games just batting 139. A little bit low in right there for ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Skeeters and Ducks tied at 0.
66 pitches now here for Fisher.
Fouls that one off toward the Skeeters dugout. You know, Fisher's a guy that we've seen go deep into games at several points this season. You saw him pitch on Long Island. How far do you think he could go tonight if he just keeps retiring Skeeters?
I mean, the most he's gone is 8, and he did that 2 times in a row, so there's no telling. But his other 3 starts, just 5 innings. Just at 67 pitches now.
Giansanti skies one to left field, running in to make the catch. And that is going to drop. A miscommunication, I guess you could say, from Lou Ford, the left fielder, and Dan Lyons, the shortstop. Lyons tried to make an over-the-shoulder catch. It would appear to be Lou Ford's ball all the way.
No, that's the wind of Constellation Field. Ford just kept coming in and in and in, and Lyons tried to bail him out, but it was too far for the shortstop to get out there.
So what a big difference that is. Instead of 2 outs and a runner on first, now you have 2 on with just 1 out, with Alvaro Rondon now batting for Sugar Land. First pitch on the way to Rondon, and he looks at strike 1. Rondon got some rest yesterday. He struck out his first time up. His last 11 games batting .344. And Dennis Phipps is going to steal third base, or attempt to, and he is there in time. And Giansanti will get to second base.
Well, that's gutsy. Phipps is not a fast guy at all, and that's an understatement. He is extremely slow, but he's a veteran. He knows that Fisher was not paying any attention to him. That'll go down as a double steal. Oh, Giansanti gets into second with a stolen base, and Phipps steals third.
That is Giansanti's 5th stolen base of the season and Phipps' first stolen base of the season.
Giansanti now with the team lead, breaking a tie with Barrett Barnes as the night off.
Rondon down in the count, though, 0-2. Barely makes contact with that one, just goes straight up to the third baseman, Puckett, for out number 2. So Skeeters do not want to waste an opportunity here to score on Fisher, who has been flawless tonight.
Yeah, it was a wasted opportunity, first and third, and Rondon, a weak little pop-up to third base.
So Colin Walsh, who just making his third at-bat since being activated from the disabled list, looks at strike one. Appeared to be a little bit outside. John Sevier didn't think so. So 2 runners in scoring position for Colin Walsh, 286 average, 4 RBIs on the year. Colin Walsh checked his swing there. 1-1 count with 2 outs here. Jake Fisher, 73 pitches.
Walsh in limited time at the plate, 0 for 2 with runs in scoring position and 2 outs, but with runs in scoring position, period, he's batting .333 and 6 at-bats, 4 ribbies.
The 1-1 to Walsh, swing and a miss for strike 2. Colin Walsh, last time up, was a deep fly out to Lou Ford in left field. When that left the bat, it appeared it might have been extra bases. The 1-2, and that's fouled off toward the Ducks dugout. But that was good to see, though, Ira, that Colin Walsh got a really good swing there in this last at-bat.
Walsh, a former big leaguer. As long as he's healthy coming off the DL, is not going to be any different from any other time with him. It'll take him long to get back into a rhythm.
Colin Walsh, an opportunity. Will he take advantage? And he looks at ball 2. Way inside.
They're making Fisher finally throw pitches here, so that's a good sign.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to the former big leaguer, Colin Walsh, making his first start since being activated from the disabled list. Ball 3 inside. So a payoff pitch upcoming to Colin Walsh. If you walk him, Albert Cordero is on deck. The delivery to Walsh, and his swing and a miss. Strikeout number 6 from Jake Fisher. Jam, and through 5 innings, we are scoreless here in Sugar Land. Ducks 0, Skeeters 0. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sugar Land, Texas, and Constellation Field. Skeeters and Ducks find themselves in a pitching duel. James Russell still on the mound for Sugar Land as the voice of the Sugar Land Skeeters, Ira Liebman, will be on the play-by-play.
Thank you, Will. 3, 4, and 5 here for the Ducks. Travis Snyder, Lou Ford, Ramon Cabrera. First pitch here. Good off-speed pitch by Russell. Catches the heart of the zone for strike 1, 0-1. Good crowd on hand here tonight. 4,476 on hand. One swung and missed. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Another good off-speed pitch by the former big leaguer Russell. Schneider 0 for 1. Grounded out and walked so far here in this game. No score here in the top of the 6th. The 0-2 in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looked like the changeup.
You like what you're seeing from James Russell thus far?
So far, even like his uniform number, nobody's worn 34 since Matt Wright retired from the Skeeters.
There's a little bobblehead right here.
Yep, he pitched all 5 of the first Skeeter seasons and the first ever starter for the Skeeters on opening day of the inaugural season.
When are the Skeeters going to start retiring jersey numbers? Because I feel like Matt Wright is worthy of that.
He's definitely worthy of consideration. You got to start with 42.
Oh, absolutely.
The 1-2 coming here from the southpaw Russell. They set up away, and this one is slash foul down the left side. Count remains 1-2.
Who else do you think should be in consideration if the Skeeters start doing that? Albert Cordero, maybe?
No, he hasn't played here long enough. Just his 3rd season.
Yeah.
2+. Let's see. It's hard because most guys aren't here for long. The 1-2. Swung and a miss, strike 3. Good fastball there by Russell. That is strikeout number 2 for Russell. Number 1 here in the 5th. One out and none on here for Lou Ford, who has grounded out and struck out. Trying to go through my mental Rolex of guys who have really excelled and been here for at least 3 years, and it's hard.
The Ducks, you've got 3 guys that have been there longer than 5 years, Lou Ford being one of them.
Ford definitely. This one crushed down the left side by Ford. I think his number will retired for sure. He's a no-brainer. But Harrelson is actually going to have his number retired for the Ducks, the former big league with the Mets and big league manager and the original Ducks manager. Now been a bench coach for a number of years. Everybody knows Bud on Long Island. That's a good question. Nobody is really standing out that he's a short front. No Lou Ford types for the Skeeters that I can really think of. This one's a strike on the inside corner, 0-2. Wright is a good candidate. He's the all-time wins and strikeouts leader for Sugar Land, so certainly a good candidate. Have his number retired. The 0-2. Swollen and hit down the left field line. That's going to be a fair ball. Let's see if Hawkins can get to it in time. He'll throw it back in quickly and he'll hold Ford to a long single here. Play by Hawkins in left.
Well, luckily Lou Ford didn't do that his last time up when the bases were loaded. Did it now with no one on.
The 1 on and 1 out here for Ramon Cabrera. He is popped out to short and grounded out. No score here in the top half of the 6th inning. It's some great pitching in this series, and that's just not from the starters. The bullpens.
Was looking like we might have another 1-0 game last night until the Skeeters kind of broke it open a little bit.
First pitch here is swung and chopped slowly to third. They go to second for 1. Will they have enough time? No really to first. Good play by Cabrera. Thought it was going to be a risk just to get it to second. But nice play there. Go down to 5-4 in the fielder's choice. And now 2 outs. Runner at first. Ford out. Cabrera replaces him at first. Bring in Taylor Ard, who has doubled and grounded out the third. He is 1 for 2. 429, no home runs, no RBIs, playing his 3rd game, not just in this series, but with the Ducks. Russell's been phenomenal. 27 pitches, 22 for strikes. They set up away here, and the first pitch is hit into center field. The low sinking line drive, charging it is Jan Santi, and Anthony makes a great play, and that'll do it. No errors and 1 man left on base. Middle of the 6th, Skeeters and Ducks are scoreless in this one. Well, if there's ever a run scored in this one, remember insurance runs are brought to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Texas Farm Bureau members get free tickets to Skeeter games on Sunday. Just show proof of your current membership at the Skeeters ticket office, and you can get 2 free tickets to any Sunday home game. Visit your local agent to become a member today. No score as we move to the bottom of the 6th. Skeeters again will try to strike first, and well, with this Skeeters bullpen, you get a run here or next inning and you turn it over to that great bullpen. The Skeeters are in business here. 1 run could be a very big difference in this game.
Yeah, even if, obviously with Danny Reynolds leaving the team to go to the Brewers, you still got a very solid bullpen. Hunter Cervenka, Felipe Paulino. Skeeters will be pretty solid shape if they can take the lead here.
Leading it off is Albert Cordero. Cordero, 1 for 2. He has one of the 3 Skeeters hits. He has singled and grounded out to short. Came in batting .371 with 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. Let's see if Albert can get it started here. No runs on 4 hits for the Ducks, no runs on 3 for the Skeeters. Cordero, the switch hitter, batting here from the right side against the lefty. First pitch by the southpaw is grounded toward short. Nice diving stop by Dan Lyons. The throw to first is in time. What a play by the former Gold Glove winner. Took a hit away from Cordero.
My goodness, that might be SportsCenter worthy. Lyons with the incredible stop, gets right back up, throws out Cordero at first base. What a play. Definitely a web gem.
A 1 out, none on for Derek Norris. Norris also 1 for 2. He has singled and grounded out. The only other hit in the game is by Jan Santi. Next pitch will be pitch number 80 coming here from Fisher. Norris swings at the first pitch, fouls it off down the right side. No balls and 1 strike to count to Derek. Derek came in at .240 with 3 home runs and 17 RBIs. Very slightly open stance from the right side for Norris. The 0-1. This one is low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. No score here, bottom of the 6th. Ira leaving along with Will Scott. Fisher still working at a pretty good pace. Just waiting for Norris to get settled. The 1-1, low and in. 2 balls and a strike here to Derek.
He was obviously hit 2 times last night. Did you feel like those were intentional?
Yeah, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't any guys brushed back or hit at by the Ducks. Norris hasn't been here for, several years. This is his first year. This one is hammered down the left field line. This one's going to rattle around in the corner. Around first, heading for second is Norris, and he'll pull up there with an easy 1-out double. Good piece of hitting by Derek.
That's big for the Skeeters now, because now you got Courtney Hawkins up with a runner in scoring position. The Skeeters trying to get their first run of this game.
Now the question is here, if you're Fisher and the Ducks, you remember the walk-off home run yesterday. You have first base open. Do you maybe give him the old intentional walk?
Well, you got Matt Chavez who's batting .361 on deck, so I don't know. Hawkins obviously has a lot of power, though.
This one a little high and tight. 1 ball and no strikes.
Feels like most of Hawkins' home runs have just been no doubters. I mean, have left the park and then some.
He doesn't hit him cheaply, that's for sure. The 1-0. Swan foul back. Certainly got all of that one. Just fouled it straight back. Just missed it. 1-1. A 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Skeeters and Ducks scoreless here in the bottom of the 6th. They're making Fisher work here in the 6th inning. Get him to 100. Getting into that bullpen. This one at off-speed pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. And now Hawkins down 1-2 on number 1-2.
76 pitches now for Fisher.
Fisher, a long look in here. See if they go away. Nope, they're going to set up inside. And this one is hammered into left, but the line drive right at Ford. Hawkins hit it on the screws, but right at the left fielder. There's 2 down.
Yeah, solid contact right there from Hawkins. Just put it in a bad spot right at 40. He didn't even have to move out there in left field. 2 outs.
So 2 outs. Remaining at second is Norris, and that'll bring in Chavez, who has struck out looking and grounded out to short. Chavez, who had been in a bit of a slump, and he got off to such a torrid pace, you never knew when he was going to slow down. But amazingly, Albert Cordero has still not slowed down. And he's starting to get back into the swing. 7 for 22, a 318 mark. That's over his 6-game hitting streak now. Trying to make it 7 here. 0 for 2 so far tonight. First pitch a strike, 0-1 the count to number 16. All right, now 2 questions. If you're a hitter, first, what would be your number?
Number 8.
Number 8, okay. And what would be your walk-up song?
Have to be a Taylor Swift song for sure. Just depends what Taylor Swift song.
The 0-1. This one swung and missed, 0-2.
Maybe Bad Blood. It's a pretty good one. How about you? What would be your walk-up song?
Welcome to the Jungle.
That's a good one.
Need something with a lot of energy.
Seems like a lot of guys use that.
A little 80s rock.
What, Taylor Swift doesn't bring energy?
No, sorry, not quite the same. Why don't you just go up there to Katy Perry while you're on a roll?
Oh, don't disrespect Katy Perry like that.
So she's going to be, you're okay with a walk-up song from her?
Roar's a pretty good one.
Doesn't have enough grit or moxie to it. Although I got a good walk-up story here in a minute. The 0-2. Big curveball swung, almost takes the head off of Fisher. They're going to wave around Norris. Here comes the throw from Bonifacio. The play to the plate is not in time. Cabrera tried to tag him, dropped the ball. May have had Norris out at the plate, but the Skeeters take a 1-0 lead.
And Jake Fisher, who's pitched a gem tonight, now on the hook for the loss. That just shows you how good the Skeeters pitching has been as well. Matt Chavez coming in clutch, getting Derek Norris home. Norris showing some speed right there, Ira.
I give credit to Skeeters' third base coach, Juice, waving him around. He didn't care if he had the slowest guy in the world there with 2 outs. He was sending him all the way. It was a good throw. May have had him at the plate, but Cabrera couldn't hold on to it. Swan is chopped foul, and now 90 pitches here for Fisher. And he could be running out of gas.
Do you notice any similarities between Juice and Gary Pettis, the Astros third base coach?
A little bit. See, to me, Gary Pettis was the prototypical center fielder. The 0-1. Swung and a bullet. That one into left field. Rounding second. And Chavez will hold on there as Ford still has great speed at 41. Gets to it. And it looks like Fisher is running out of steam here. First and second, 2 on and 2 out. To me, center fielders, I mean, everybody has to hit a home run now these days. Even second basemen need to be 20 home run guys. But, you know, back in the day, a center fielder was a guy who was a leadoff hitter. He would hit single digits in home runs, maybe 4 or 5 tops. Great speed, great defensively. Really knew how to bunt and do all those little things right. That was Gary Pettis to me. That, if I'm pointing to the prototype, what kind of player do you want? I want a Gary Pettis type. That was to me the prototype.
What were his numbers like?
I'll look it up. I mean, they weren't crazy, but he was one of those guys, and I think everybody on every team that you watch has one of those guys that if you don't watch him every day and you look at his numbers and you go, well, he's all right. But when you watch him every day, it's more than what you think. I mean, even Derek Jeter, the, sum is greater than the whole of its parts.
Well, his son Dante, star wide receiver at the University of Washington, was actually a second-round pick by the San Francisco 49ers.
Did not know that. And here's your typical Gary Pettis-like season. He had anywhere from 3 to 5 home runs, 35 to 55 RBIs. He would hit you around 250 or so, but, I mean, the guy had 5 gold gloves. Big curveball here, strike. No balls in 1 strike the count here to Kyle Kubica. Still no action, amazingly, in the Ducks bullpen, and clearly after a pitching visit and a guy who's running out of gas, I can't say I quite understand it. The 0-1. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, says home plate umpire John Severe. Now is Kubica down in the count 0-2. Of course, Mr. Pettis, who began most of his career with the Angels and then Detroit, spent 2 years with Texas, San Diego finished with Detroit. This one misses outside. I got to tell you, I saw, and you see players do this a lot, but it was something about the way Derek Norris was working with Kyle Kubica today that just seemed a little bit more than you would usually see him. He seemed to really just have a lot of focus, and Kubica was really interested in his thoughts as he swings and misses here. What do I know? But that'll do it. But the Skeeters strike first here. Game of chicken, despite playing the Ducks. They score first. They get 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We are through 6 innings of play. Skeeters now leading the Ducks 1-0.
Now on to pitch for Sugar Land after a couple solid innings from James Russell. It's going to be Matt West, the 6'1", 235-pound righty from Houston, Texas, the former major leaguer this season. No runs allowed in 4 games, 3 2/3 innings pitched, only 1 hit allowed, and he struck out 5.
West will take over. Another big leaguer out of this bullpen. The old guys leave, the new guys come in. They're still big leaguers, and what an arsenal Pete and Kabilia and his coaching staff have put together. And it seems like it's going to be endless supply for Pete. You know, we talked about those middle free agents who are still all out there. I don't know if it's just me. Does it seem like the other teams in the Atlantic League are taking advantage of that?
Maybe.
I mean, it doesn't seem to be as many of those middle range guys that are all still out there. It seems like the Skeeters have, or at least Pete has tapped into a vein of all those guys. I mean, the Skeeters seem to get stronger every time they lose a guy.
Well, what really helps with Pete is that he coached in the American Association with Laredo. He has a lot of connections to some former big leaguers, some guys that played in the American Association.
I think as a former big league, you probably have a lot of those natural connections.
So, I mean, I think he told you that, you know, his phone's always ringing with guys wanting to come here.
So they must have said to Matt, "Go west, young man." And he is indeed in the Wild West. First pitch here, a little bit high and tight. 1 ball and no strikes. Bottom of the order here in the top of the 7th for the Ducks. Cody Puckett, Daniel Fields, Dan Lyons. Puckett has struck out and popped out. He is 0 for 2. Skeeters leading 1-0 here in the top half of the 7th. Swung a hit towards third. Carrera flags it to his left, and Albert will toss it across for out number 1. And it seems like when you have that big league team like the Royals a few years ago, you get to the 7th inning with a lead, and they've got 3 guys all stacked up, ready to come. Skeeters are in that position right now. I remember I interviewed Norm Charlton years ago, part of the Nasty Boys of the Reds, and I asked him, I said, when did you notice you guys had something really special in that bullpen between you, Myers, and Dibble? And he said, when they started bringing in the infield in the 2nd inning, because they knew if they had a lead after the 6th, that was it. That was all she wrote. And it seems like right now you're counting down the outs, 8 to go, even with a 1-0 lead. Well, in steps the left-hand hitting right fielder, Daniel Fields. Clubs this one just past the Skeeters dugout. Goes down the right field side. No balls and 1 strike to count.
It's kind of what the Yankees are trying to do with their 3 big-name relievers.
They could be closers pretty much on any team. Chapman, Betances, Robertson.
Feel free to send one of those guys to the Astros, please.
No, you can stick with your boy Giles. No balls and 1 strike to count here. 1 run on 6 hits for the Skeeters. No runs on 4 for the Ducks. So on the low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1-0 Skeeters here in the top of the 7th. Skeeters Skeeters have no action. Nope, as they say that, no action yet. Looks like Skeeters bullpen catcher Jeff Allen. The 1-1. That's one low and in. 2 balls and a strike here.
I kind of feel like the Astros and Yankees are becoming a rivalry. Would you agree with that?
It's definitely getting there. I mean, after last season, I mean, looks like they might be on another collision course this season. Between the Yankees, Red Sox, and Astros, you got to think. And the Indians, I would say that's your final 4 right there in the American League. This one is high. Not that that's any different from last year, but they're all having phenomenal seasons. 3 balls and a strike here. So you have Weskin battle back from the 3-1 count. Good hitters count. We ought to be careful here with Fields. This one's swung, a hit high and deep in the air to left center field. This one is trouble. And Hawkins will run it down towards the wall in left field. You never know, that was the same guy that made the error last night. What a play.
That's what I was going to say. And he also bobbled the ball in the outfield earlier today, but could have saved a double right there. Great play by Hawkins running and making that catch.
So 2 outs, and now you can look at 7 outs to go here in the 7th inning. Skeeters leading 1-0. The number 9 hitter Dan Lyons, who broke an 0 for 19 slump with a base hit last time up. He's 1 for 2. He's also struck out. So in steps number 1-2. Lyons came in batting just 185, home run and 12 RBIs. And Lyons been a good player for the Ducks for a long time. Just out to a very tough start. Has not affected him in the field though. Big overhand curve for his strike here. No balls and 1 strike to count.
Lyons is a 3-time Atlantic League All-Star, University of Minnesota alum. Minnesota, it's great to see their baseball program back on track. They're hosting a regional this weekend.
Yeah, well, he was recruited by Lou Ford, also a Minnesota guy. The 0-1. This one low and away, of course. Big Dave Winfield came out of Minnesota, drafted in 3 different sports. A lot of people don't know it, all the terrific outfielder he was and all his hits, 3,000 hits, Hall of Famer. He was a pitcher in the College World Series. 6'6". Good old Big Dave. The 1-1. This one high and outside, 2 balls and a strike.
LSU plays at 3 o'clock tomorrow against San Diego State in the Corvallis Regional.
So you tracking and sabermetricing the spelling bee tonight? I mean, is there a favorite?
No spoilers. I'm recording it.
What a jip. The 2-1. This one popped up left side. Cordero down the third base side in foul territory. That wind just keeps blowing it, and he'll field it. A nonchalant catch, and that will do it. Well, it is 7th inning stretch time. Get your peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I do care if you Skeeters up 1-0. Now the 7th inning stretch comes to its conclusion. You're going to have to help me out with that, Will Scott, one of these days.
Hey, you are the man for it, though.
That's what anybody says who's trying to get out of something. How about a duet?
Oh, really? You want to try a duet?
Yeah, you down?
I mean, I can't really sing. I can dance those you've seen.
I've seen that. I don't know if that's quite seventh inning stretch dancing. We'll see how you do. Well, Skeeters leading 1-0. For the Skeeters, it'll be Anthony Jansanti, Alvaro Rondon, and back to the top of the order, Colin Walsh.
It's going to be Asher Tolliver into pitch, 6 foot, 185-pound lefty from North Little Rock, Arkansas, former major leaguer.
This one is a strike at the knees, 0-1 the count. I like that name, Asher.
This season he has a 3.86 ERA, 0-1 record in 8 games, 7 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, and 8 strikeouts.
One lefty to another. Get you Fisher's number here in a moment. This one is high, 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Skeeters leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The southpaw will kick and deal, and this one is way inside. 2 balls and a strike here.
Tolliver from North Little Rock, Arkansas originally, and actually got to play back home in Arkansas with the AA team of the Mariners this past season.
The 2-1. Swung and chopped to lines, backhanded in the hole. Long, strong throw, and just staying on the bag at first was a hard. What a stretch. He had to stretch all the way out towards right field. He had moved for a second. The speedy Jansanti would have beat it out. 6-3 on the put-out. That'll bring in the number 9 hitter in the Skeeters lineup, Alvaro Rondon. Well, Jake Fisher goes 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Terrific performance, but right now, he's on the losing end. Skeeters leading 1-0. Tolliver never in a hurry to throw a pitch, though. First pitch here to Rondon, big swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike to count. Looks like Dan Runsler beginning to warm in the Skeeters pen.
So get this, Tolliver has a World Series ring. He was a member of the Astros for 3 games last season.
Oh, wow, that's nice. All you need is 1. This one singled up the middle by Rondon. A 1-out single, and I gotta think Skeeters really need some insurance here. Rondon may be off to the races. We'll see.
Tolliver even joined the Astros on their White House visit.
Oh, that's kind of nice. Well, back to the top of the order with Colin Walsh. Walsh has struck out twice and sandwiched between a fly out to left. He's 0 for 3. First pitch here by Tolliver. This one is strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike to count. Asher spells his name A-S-H-U-R. I assure you.
Ha ha ha.
Asher. Just like the spelling bee. See, I finished with it.
Isn't it funny that I am recording the spelling bee but not the NBA Finals? I'm going to go home and watch the spelling bee but not the NBA Finals.
Oh, that's right. And the Stanley Cup game, no, that's tomorrow. Throw it at first. Rondon gets back.
I don't know, man. Like, just after this past series, you know, just the frustration with some of the officiating. I don't know if I might just give up on the NBA and become a hockey fan.
You're a liar. The 1-1 from the left-hander. Big swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Asher began his big league career with the Orioles in the year before in 2016. Lifetime 1-0, a 4.66 ERA. And Tolliver, every time he goes to first, kind of a slinging it sidearm to first. You would think that would take a little longer. Tolliver, another Oklahoma City guy, went to Oklahoma City University. The last game he played was on July 4th in the big leagues.
Yeah, I remember him last season with the Astros. Did pretty well. Just 3.60 ERA, and those 3 games he played. 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. And that's better than the Astros bullpen did during the playoffs, that's for sure.
Lifetime, he's 13-10 with a 3.52 ERA. 7 saves. Another throw to first. This one in the dirt. Scooped out by the first baseman, Ord. He's thinking what I'm thinking, that a 1-0 lead, fast guy in first, he's eventually going to steal, and I'm sure Rondon will. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Walsh. Skeeters leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. Tolliver from the set comes home. This one high and outside, 2-2. 1 run on 7 hits now for the Skeeters. They've had a bunch of hits, but only 1 run to show for it. Part of that reason, Jake Fisher's pitching for the Ducks.
Able to get out of a couple jams.
The 2-2. Swung and hit into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Let's see if Rondon will round second. He will. He'll hit to third easily. And now the Skeeters, first and third, only 1 away. They have to capitalize here. And they have a good shot to do it with Albert Cordero stepping to the plate.
Great to see that from Colin Walsh. First hit in a couple weeks from him was placed on the disabled list, activated yesterday, and in the leadoff spot tonight. Struck out his first couple times up, but gets aboard there.
Here comes Kevin Baez, the Ducks manager, former big leaguer with the Mets. Mentioned Bud Harrelson. He actually played under Bud Harrelson while with the Mets and with the Ducks. I think there's just a conference on the mound there. They're going to discuss 2 things. A, if Walsh decides to steal, will they let him go or will they throw through? And B, how to pitch Cordero here. Of course, a switch hitter will bat from the right side against the southpaw. Let's see if Albert can come through. Doesn't have to get hit, just needs to get one deep enough. And even if you get one to medium outfield depth, Speedy Rondon should be able to score easily.
You saw Rondon round second, head to third right there easily. So you're right. Cordero does not have to get this very deep in order to score Rondon.
Well, in steps the switch hitting Cordero. He has singled, struck out, was robbed on a great play by Dan Lyons. Otherwise, he'd be 2 for 3. They're going to set up inside here in the first pitch, way inside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Cordero had a lunge to get out of the way of that one. Skeeters now with 1 run on 8 hits. Ducks no runs on 4. Cordero open stance from the right side against the southpaw. The 1-0. Swung and fouled off right side. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on. Skeeters leading 1-0.
Really a chance for the Skeeters to take advantage here and build a bigger lead.
Tolliver from the stretch looks at first at Walsh, but comes home. Swung and a miss. A rare chase by Cordero. Chased the ball high and outside. Now down to the count 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on number 3, Albert Cordero. 1 out, 2 on. Skeeters trying to add to their 1-0 lead here. Tolliver's 1-2 pitch. They'll set up inside again here, and this one swung and a miss as Cordero strikes out. That is a huge out. Now the Skeeters will need a 2-out hit from Derek Norris.
Yeah, that was big. Skeeters were in good shape there. Cordero coming up. Skeeters leading batter in terms of batting average and unable to get anything going right there. So Tolliver, if he can retire Norris, will get out of this jam. Ducks will just still be down 1 run.
So Norris will step in, batting .214 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. In 14 plate appearances, 4 RBIs. First pitch here to Derek. Swan popped up behind the plate. Cabrera should run out of room, and does. No balls and 1 strike to count. Skeeters leading 1-0 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Runzo looks like he's ready in the pen to come in for the 8th. We'll probably see Paulino for the 2nd straight night, my guess, if he didn't throw too many pitches last night. If not, could be anybody's guess.
Hunter Cervenka also pitched last night.
Well, interesting to see. The Skeeters got to get to the 9th with a lead first. Leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. Have an insurance run 90 feet away with 2 down. Throw goes to first. Walsh with a small lead gets back easily standing up.
You know, obviously with how good the Skeeters bullpen has been, 1-0 might be enough, but you'd like to see some breathing room here provided from Norris with runners on the corners.
The 0-1 by the southpaw. Swung popped up. This will not get it done. Right side of the infield. Valdespin fighting that wind. Back and pulls it down. So the Skeeters waste a 1st and 3rd 1-out opportunity and do not score. We are through 7 innings of play. Skeeters still in front. 1-0 in this one.
Sugar indeed. Sugarland up 1-0 as we head to the 8th inning. Dan Runzler on to pitch for the Skeeters, the 6'4", 210-pound lefty from Santa Monica, California. The former major leaguer with the Pittsburgh Pirates. This season for Sugarland, he has a 4.50 ERA in 12 games, 10 innings pitched for Runzler. He's allowed 10 hits and 5 runs, and he has struck out 10 batters.
Top of the order here in the top of the 8th for the Ducks. They're down 1-0 to Sugarland. Jordani Valdespin, Emilio Bonifacio, and Travis Snyder. That's why Runzler is in here. 2 of the 3 lefties starting here with Valdespin. This one is a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes here. 4th pitcher of the night. Casey Coleman started. James Russell, Matt West, and now Dan Runzler. That's a bunch of big leaguers right there. Lefty-lefty matchup for Dan. Squaring is Valdespin. He has squared a lot and taken a lot of strikes. If you're going to square bunts, you're going to bunt at a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to count here.
Cordero playing a tad in right here, not much. The rest of the infielders playing a little bit farther out.
The 1-1. This one is chopped left side, right at Cordero. Almost rolled up his arm, fires it short arm across. And there is out number 1, and just like that, Skeeters up 1-0, 5 outs away. Emilio Bonifacio, the only righty of the first 3, will step in here. He has grounded out, walked, stolen a base, and grounded to second, so he is 0 for 2. And it looks like Felipe Paulino got to start throwing in the Skeeters' pen. Well, in steps Bonifacio, 313, no home runs, 8 RBIs. First pitch a strike, 0-1 the count.
Bonifacio just 2 for his last 19, Ira. Still solid overall numbers on the season, though.
This one in the dirt. Almost hits Bonifacio. Time to take a look at the Atlantic League scoreboard. Earlier today, a doubleheader. Somerset beat the Barnstormers 8-3, but they got revenge in Game 2. Barnstormers won 6-5. Southern Maryland and York rained out. And now a final as well. New Britain shuts out the Road Warriors 6-0. And it's 1-0 here in the top of the 8th. Skeeters in front. Nice setup inside. This one, a little blueprint to right field. Coming on is Kibitsa. Still coming on. Lunges to his left. A shoestring grab and a terrific play by the Skeeters right fielder. And the Skeeters are 4 outs away.
Kyle Kibitsa, we saw him make that play last night, running into the wall in right field, and then got on his horse right there with the right hand, making that catch. 2 outs as Travis Snyder comes up.
Snyder, another lefty for the Southpaw Rundler. Snyder has grounded out to second, walked and struck out. He is 0 for 2. First pitch by Dan, swung and right back to the pitcher. A one hopper. He'll run towards first, flip it underhand. That'll do it. What a job by Rundler. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Ducks. So Skeeters 3 defensive outs away, but they're trying to get some insurance when we get back. Bottom of the 8th.
Carlos Pimentel now on the bump for the Ducks, the 6'3", 215-pound righty from the Dominican Republic. His last action was with Lincoln, Nebraska in the American Association. This season, he has a .270 ERA, 0-1 record on the year in 8 games. 13 1/3 innings pitched. He surrendered 11 hits and 4 runs, and he has struck out 16.
Oh, Pimentel, 86 and 75 lifetime, a .416 ERA and 3 career saves. 10 seasons of pro ball. He will face 4, 5, and 6 mid of the order. Courtney Hawkins, Matt Chavez, Dennis Phipps here against the right-hander. Big swing and a miss at a ball low and away. No balls and 1 strike. Hawkins hit into a double play, struck out, and lined out sharply to left. He's 0 for 3. Skeeters are leading 1-0. Love to add some insurance here, though. Swanee in the dirt, skips past the catcher, Ramon Cabrera. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Hawkins, 243 coming in, 8 home runs, 30 RBIs. This one, a bullet down the third base side, foul.
Hawkins, after being the hero last night, still looking for his first hit in this one.
1 ball and 2 strikes to number 1-2. They're going to set up outside the 1-2 here by the right-hander in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, Pimentel has pitched in the Rangers organization for a long time, from age 17 in 2007 to 2013. Then with the Cubs, with the Padres, even pitched in some Dominican winter leagues as well as Mexico. One Swan a mile high in the air down the left field line. Lou Ford coming in near the Skeeters left field line, and it is caught actually by Dan Lyons. The shortstop went way out to deep left. There's out number 1.
Yeah, Lou Ford was also over there. Good communication between the two as Lyons was able to get him.
Well, 1 out, none out for Matt Chavez. He has struck out, grounded out, and had an RBI single. The lone run of the game, he drove Van Skeeter, still leading by that lone run. 1-0 here in the bottom of the 8th. It's been some pitching display here in this series. Skeeters lost 1-0 in game 1, winning here 1-0 in game 3. And really, it was all pitching through 5 innings last night. Skeeters won in walk-off fashion 6-5 on the Courtney Hawkins home run. Skeeters 1 run on 8 hits. The Ducks no runs on 4. The right-hander, Carlos Pimentel. From the set, he'll kick and fire, and this one high and outside, 1-1. Looks like Felipe Paulino almost ready down there.
Fear the beard. Everyone be sure to vote for Felipe Paulino for the Atlantic League All-Star game. That voting started today.
I'm sure he'll be a heavy candidate. This one fouls off to the right side. Count remains 1-2. Generally 4 guys picked from every team. Who would be your 4 right now? Still obviously another quarter of a season to go. We're only a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, obviously Albert Cordero, hitting,
sure,
371 on the year. Matt Chavez has to be in the picture as well, and then pitching. Gosh, you could pick pretty much anyone from the Skeeters bullpen right now.
This one swung and foul tipped into the mid of Ramon Cabrera, and there's 2 down here. Pretty good fastball there. A strikeout number 1 for Pimentel. 2 outs, none on here for Dennis Phipps. He's been on base twice. He flew out to center, walked and amazingly stole the base. Guy who is not fast at all, and then singled last time up. The right-hander from the stretch with nobody on. Big curveball stays high, 1-0. Looking ahead to the 9th for the Ducks. It'll be the meat of the order, so it's not going to be a picnic for Paulino. Lou Ford, Ramon Cabrera, Taylor Arnn, 4, 5, and 6. The 1-0. And as the pitch was on the way, Phipps steps out. One high and outside, 2-0. On deck, Kyle Kabitza should Phipps reach. Here's a slight shift, and that I say very sarcastically, with 3 infielders to the left of second base. This one swung and missed. I guess they're suspecting he's going to pull here. And if he goes the other way, he can run all night. There's a monster gap in right center, and nobody anywhere near the second base side. The 2-1 here to Phipps. This one down low, 3-1. I know it's so easy to say, oh, there's a big hole on the right side. Why doesn't he go the other way? That's your natural swing. It's very difficult to go against it, let alone at 85 to 90 plus miles an hour at times. It's like when a guy walks a lot of batters. Well, why doesn't he just throw strikes? Well, even the professionals struggle with that. The big league level as well. The 3-1, swung and a bullet to third. Dropped by Puckett. He picks it up. He'll throw it to first in the dirt, scooped out by Art, who's been very good down. I'll do it. 5-3 on the putout. Skeeters go 3 up, 3 down. Felipe Paulino will try to close it out in the ninth and try to add to his league lead in saves. Come back here. It's just a 1-0 game. Another tight one between the Skeeters and the Ducks.
Now on to pitch for the Skeeters, the closer, Felipe Paulino, the 6'3", 270-pound righty from Venezuela, the former major leaguer and, of course, former Houston Astro. This season, he has been flawless. No runs allowed in 13 games, 12 innings, only 5 hits allowed, and he struck out 12. That one run that he allowed last night was not earned, Ira.
Yeah, ruled an error later on, as it should have been. Now, Paulino is still not allowed to run all season. Neither Danny Reynolds, who pitched last night as well, and he is no longer with the club, picked up by the Brewers. So congratulations again to him if you're just joining us. Now, Paulino, a closer with 5 pitches, and he is impressive. Paulino, a fastball 90-93, changeup, slider, curve, and sinker. It's not going to be a picnic here. Meeting the order with a 1-0 lead. Lou Ford, Ramon Cabrera, Taylor Hard. So far, Lou's 1 for 3. He has grounded out, struck out, and single. Righty-righty matchup for Paulino. First pitch to Lou. This one is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Skeeters 1 run on 8 hits. They have committed 1 error. No runs, 4 hits, and no errors. The 1-0. This one a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike here on Ford. Ford really been a terrific player throughout his major league and minor league career. Even in college, he helped Dallas Baptist to the NAIA World Series, so he's won wherever he's gone. Ground ball to third, backing up is Cordero. Tough play to his left. The throw to first is in time. Even Ford made it close. Great play. That was really dangerous looking. Cordero backed up, which you always fear when a guy backs up, but I was surprised when Gary Gaetti was the manager here, a guy who won 4 Gold Gloves. I said, backing up on a play, Michael Rocket did it once at third, and I said, isn't that the kiss of death? They always say don't back up on a ground ball, and he said, no, you know, at the hot corner at third, when you back up, it can cushion the blow on a hot shot. That's what it did, but Cordero fielded it to his left and juggled it just for a second, but trapped it against him, threw it to first, but all that took so much time that Ford still runs pretty well for a 41-year-old. In his heyday, he was a 20 stolen base guy. 2 outs away now. Skeeters leading 1-0. First pitch to Cabrera is belted down the right side, but hooks foul at the last second. It was a long, loud, and dangerous, scary foul ball. So no balls and 1 strike to count. Cabrera has not hit a home run this year. 345, no home runs, 2 RBIs. He is 0 for 3. He has popped out to short, grounded at the first, and hit into a fielder's choice. They set up away, and the 0-1. This one swung on, popped up, shallow left center field. Going out is Rondon. Who's going to get it? It's Hawkins. Skeeters left fielder brings it down for the second out, and the Skeeters are up 1-0 or 1 out away. Let's take a look at what this bullpen has done. First of all, before this inning, And Paulino has a chance for a 1-2-3 inning here. The Skeeters have retired 9 straight. It goes back to Russell in the 6th. Got the last out. West a 1-2-3 inning. Runsler a 1-2-3 inning. And Paulino one batter away from a 1-2-3 inning. This bullpen is just lights out. The only thing standing between Paulino, a save, and a Skeeters win is Taylor Ard, who is 1 for 3 with a double, a ground out, and a line out to center. First pitch here is a little bit inside, 1 ball and no strikes to count. Paulino, nothing but strikes from him so far. 6 pitches, 4 of them strikes. The 1-0. This one is a fastball down low, 91 on the gun. 2 balls and no strikes. Ard playing his 3rd game in this series, 3rd for the Ducks. Just joined them here right before game 1. The 2-0 from the Skeeters closer. Swung and fouled back into the net. Healthy hack by Ard. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. 1 run, 8 hits, and 1 error for the Skeeters. No runs, 4 hits, and no errors for the Ducks. Skeeters trying to return the favor after a 1-0 loss in game 1 to Long Island, trying to win a 1-0 game here in game 3 after the walk-off win last night. The 2-1 here by Paulino. This one low and away, backhanded by Norris. It's a 3-1 count. Got to be very careful. One swing of the bat ties this one up with 1 out to go. Cody Puckett on deck. Let's see what Paulino throws here. They set up away. Look for maybe a slider away here, the 3-1. Swan hit high in the air, but playable into left center field. Who wants it? It is Anthony Jansanthi, the center fielder, squeezes it, and that's the game. Skeeters with 3 straight 1-2-3 innings by 3 different pitchers to end it. 10 in a row retired by the Skeeters bullpen to close this one out as Paulino picks up another save. Take a look at the final numbers here. 1 run, 8 hits, and 1 error for the Sugar Land Skeeters. 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors for the Ducks, as that 1 run in the 6th inning held up, and the Skeeters returned the favor from a 1-0 loss in game 1. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll have our player of the game with Will Scott. We'll have the final numbers and preview tomorrow's game 1 matchup against the York Revolution, the defending champs. All that and more. Return on the Skeeters post-game show in a moment. Welcome to the Skeeters post-game show. An excited Ira Lehman as the Skeeters take 2 of 3 from the Ducks in an exciting 1-0 win. After a 1-0 loss in game 1, an exciting seesaw battle that led to a walk-off win, courtesy of Courtney Hawkins for the Skeeters. And today, a 1-0 victory here for Sugar Land. Let's take a look at the final numbers here. 1 run, 8 hits, and 1 error for Sugar Land. No runs, 4 hits, and no errors for the Ducks. The winning pitcher for the Skeeters is the newest member of the Skeeters. That's James Russell, the former big leaguer, 1-0. Felipe Paulino adds to his league-leading save total and is his 9th save of the season. The loss goes to Jake Fisher. Fisher really pitched a whale of a game for the Ducks, or I guess a duck of a game for the Ducks. But he was very good despite suffering the loss, allowing just the 1 run in 6 innings. Time of the game, another respectable 2 hours and 27 minutes in front of 4,476 fans here at Constellation Field. Well, let's tell you how this one happened. Let's look at the highlight, since it was only one. It was scoreless through the first 4. Casey Coleman, who only pitched in relief once for the Skeeters, went 3 innings in his first outing, but went 4 shutout innings here tonight and pitched extremely well. But it was in the 6th, when the Skeeters got on the board after the starter for the Ducks, Jake Fisher, was just mowing down Sugar Land through the first 5 innings. He had struck out 6, had 7 in all, but it was in the 6th. Albert Corder led off, and a great play by Dan Lyons at short robbed him of a hit. But Derek Norris doubled. Courtney Hawkins lined a bullet to left for out number 2, but Matt Chavez came up big with an RBI single, and the Skeeters led 1-0. Then it was all bullpen. The Skeeters had a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. That was courtesy of Matt West, a 1-2-3 inning in the 8th, courtesy of former big leaguer Dan Runzler and Felipe Paulino, a 1-2-3 ninth. Skeeters 10 straight to end this in. And really, the bullpen is phenomenal. Well, to tell you all about how good this pitching really is, it is our own Will Scott who's standing by with former big league all-star catcher Derek Norris. Will.
Will Scott here on the field with our player of the game, Derek Norris. Derek, you went 2 for 4 tonight. 10 of your last 13 hits have actually gone for extra bases. Do you feel like you've been adding some power to your swing as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think just getting more comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, had a lot of time off in between, when I was in spring training with Detroit and then when we started up here. So I think just getting comfortable and just, getting my feet underneath me is the most important thing.
Corey Coleman making his first start for the Skeeters tonight. And then, of course, James Russell also flawless in his Skeeters debut. What do you have to say about your pitchers tonight?
Well, I think we utilized, the stadium, the wind blowing in, just keeping them off balance and keeping them from making good swings. And getting ahead's a big part of that, and that's what we did well tonight.
Definitely a competitive series, to say the least. All 3 games decided by 1 run. Seems like the pitchers are picking up the hitters and the hitters are picking up the pitchers. Do you think the team, most of the time when you come out, it's going to have the competitive edge overall?
Yeah, I mean, playing at this ballpark, it's tough to score runs here, especially when that wind's blowing in. So you got to take each run, for what it is, and you have to play a little bit of small ball. And I think they did a great job of their starting pitchers did a great job this series, and so did ours. So they got a good ball club, and so do we. And we match up well against each other. I think that's why. You
got the defending Atlantic League champs, York, coming to town tomorrow. What does the team have to do to keep up this momentum as you're kind of in a first half division race with the Barnstormers?
Well, I think we haven't faced them yet, so tomorrow will be a good test to see where we're at. I don't know who's on the roster. I haven't checked that out yet, but we're just going to come in and keep doing what we've been doing, just try and win series one at a time.
Hey, thanks, Derek. Our player of the game. Back to you, Ira.
Thank you, Will. And Derek Norris, certainly a big part of this win, both behind the plate with 2 hits, and he really called a great game tonight. Skeeters used 5 pitchers, and Norris called a 1-0 victory. So both offensively, defensively, and also calling of the games. Well, tomorrow, Skeeters will face the defending champs, the York Revolution. Skeeters will send at Matt Sergey, who got off to a tough start. Let up 5 runs in the last inning, but really recovered nicely. Just 1 run of his last 4. 1-2 with a 7.71 ERA. He will go up against Southpaw Russ Detweiler, 3-1 with a 2.70 ERA. Skeeters with the win get their 20th of the season. They are 20-11 overall. The Ducks fall to 515-15. And now rejoining me here in the booth, Will Scott. And Skeeters, of course, pitching was certainly the story here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just unbelievable, following up, what we've seen the last 2 nights from the starting pitchers. And you had Casey Coleman tonight. First start, wasn't sure how far he was going to go. Only went 4 innings, but got out of that huge 3rd inning jam, which turned out being the difference in the game, him getting out of that jam. So really just solid pitching night from both sides. Hard to believe Jake Fisher was charged with the loss. He pitched very well, but the Skeeters just pitched a little bit better.
It's been tough for the pitchers here. I mean, just because you pitch well on either side doesn't mean you're going to pick up a win. But when you look at this series, I think if it comes down to a battle of the bullpen, I don't think anybody matches the Skeeters. I mean, there's too many big league arms out there. We got another one tonight. You know, James Russell, who was a late addition to this lineup just before the game. He came in and he just fit right in, didn't he?
He fit right in. I mean, 2 innings, you know, following up Coleman's performance. And those 2 innings were huge from him because it really put the Skeeters in a position to send those 3 guys out there, and Weston Paulino included, to finish the game. So really just a solid performance tonight. You heard Derek Norris say it, you know, that the Skeeters pitching is just tough to beat in this ballpark.
Well, tomorrow will be a 7:05 start. Pregame show will start at 6:45. Friday night fireworks, Boy Scout sleepover, and also Bedrock Comics sponsors Superhero Night. You going to come as a superhero?
Oh, man, I might have to come as Mr. Incredible.
There you go. It's superhero-esque. Well, it is an incredible win for the Skeeters. Swing and a miss at the incredible Steve. What can I tell you? Well, that's going to do it for us here. Skeeters again win this one by a final score of 1-0. Well, we will sail off into the night. Skeeters take 2 of 3 from the Ducks. They will welcome in the defending champ, York Revolution. For my broadcast partners, Ryan Posner and Will Scott, this is Ira Loomis. Say enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you tomorrow night.